Hokage Hatake Glory, Chapter 421-440. Text Chapter 421 _ Can you give him to me? I'm sorry, can you give me the fan in your hand? You. The older Kumogakure ninja widened his eyes in astonishment, staring at the picturesque beauty in front of him, stunned in place. Baidu Interesting Academy. Haku smiled softly, as ethereal as a cloud and as quiet as water. The old Kumogakure ninja got lost in this beauty, and the lieutenant general handed over the banana fan. Hey, what are you doing? She is. Halfway through the words, I couldn't go on anymore, and the ninja who turned back was also stunned. After his shout, many of the coalition ninjas turned their heads, and they all turned into the same appearance as him. The beauty of white does not belong to this world. Just as Conan's beauty carries eternal sorrow, her beauty carries eternal nostalgia. Liamong had envied more than once that he would not kill this idiot again, but he was able to get the love of such a beauty. Who is she? What is her name? Thick doubts came to mind, and the dumb ninjas raised question marks regardless of gender. Thank you. Bai nodded slightly, his bright eyes narrowed to the moon Kiba. The ninjas were heartbroken, no more. It took them a long time to recover before they realized what had happened. Is it demonic illusion? Snapped. The older Kumogakure slapped himself hard, but his hot face couldn't stop his thoughts. That woman is too beautiful. No, the beauty is not enough to describe. Who is she? Found it. Teotihu Zabujan silently shuttled through the allied ninja army, using the assassination technique learned in the blood fog to the extreme. Through the blind spot of vision and various shadow blind spots, he approached the captain of the first unit like an invisible ghost. However, his luck was obviously not as good as Bai's. It was really painful to be ugly, and Lois Tarui directly rejected his thoughts. Heihei168.com. This bottle doesn't seem to be available. Zabujan secretly scrutinized the two ninjas standing at a high place, compared them secretly, and found that he was far from them. This was a qualitative gap. Launch silent assassination. Looking at the men with eyes on the side, you know that this is a way of sending death. Just when Zabujan lingered uncertainly, wondering whether to retreat first, or use artillery fire to cause chaos. The battlefield has changed again. Choji's transformation into a cocoon and a butterfly has become the key to the victory of the coalition forces. He first fell from the sky, and with the cooperation of Shikamaru, Kakuzu was made into a fleshy mud, and then he turned into a giant chariot and turned the white Zetsus. Rolled over. The coalition ninjas cheered, jumped and screamed with excitement. The little girls who don't know the inside information simply worship him as a god. Handsome guy, I want to marry you. Handsome man, I like you. Handsome guy, I love you. Handsome guy, I want to give birth to a baby for you. Dad. Choji looked at his father excitedly and said, Dad, did you hear me? Someone likes my son too. Choji's father patted Choji's shoulder hard. Son, you have to seize the opportunity to understand. Opportunity. Stupid, that's how your father found your mother back then. What? Dad, that's how you found my mother back then. Yeah. Choji's father looked at Choji with an idiot. If I don't take the opportunity to get your mother, will anyone want your father's body shape? Then how did you tell me? Tactics, this is called tactics, do you understand? Choji's father gave Choji a meaningful look. We are plump and plump, but plump doesn't mean we are stupid. Boy, you have been with that smart guy from Nara's family for so long, why don't you learn both hands? I was thinking, can you marry the girl from the Yamanaka family? You mean Ino? I don't do it. Dad, don't cheat on me. Son, how can this be called cheating on you? But forget it, if you don't want to, let's change it. While you're getting thinner now, hurry up and find a daughter-in-law for your father, understand? Father, aren't we lying? Liar. Choji's father looked at Choji very tiredly. Silly boy, you don't want a daughter-in-law anymore. Think. Cheat if you want. Cheat. Aren't girls used to cheat? Choji's father put his arms around Choji's shoulders and said, "This girl likes sweet words. You are so good now that you have to seize the opportunity, or go back and ask your mother to beat you." Quote. Dad, my mother doesn't listen to you. Who said that? Choji's father's eyes widened when he heard Choji's words. Choji shrank his head back. Dad, don't force it. When my mom and Shikamaru get angry, you and Uncle Shikaku are just like that. Choji. Akamichi Choza roared, and the entire beach fell silent. Mukuro on the smoke-filled battlefield reeked of the stench of gas emitted from burning crude oil. Allied ninjas, Akatsuki, White Zetsu, the traces brought by various ninja tools are said to burst the eyeball, the head is exploded, the wounds, blood, the mouth with a wail, the eyes of despair are pale, all the images are showing the cruelty of war and the humility of life. But this scene that was supposed to be so miserable that it made people cry, was destroyed by the two fat men. Maybe Choji and his dad could keep their voices down at first, but they both seem to have forgotten. No matter how small the elephant's voice is, it is still a loudspeaker, not to mention that the two of them are not much smaller than the whale now. The allied ninjas were all stunned. Konoha girl. Iwagakure girl. Kurigakure girl. The girls from village to village all looked at them in astonishment, heartbroken after the comparison. In this extremely cruel and bloody war, pressing the messy chest, there is an indescribable strange feeling. Should we be happy? Suddenly, an old man wiped his tears, for Fatty. For the fat man. Yes, for the fat man. First a little, then a sharp spread. Akamichi Choji and his father, Akamichi Choza, stopped arguing stupidly, and there were voices applauding for them all over the place. Hey, these two fat guys are so funny. I miss home. They were born to bring joy to people. These two idiots are so good at doing it. Maybe marrying him is really good. A girl who is not very beautiful in appearance and has a little Madara on her face is thinking seriously. Akamichi Choji looked at the little ones under his feet depressedly, and roared in his loudest voice, "I'm not fat, I'm plump, understand, plump is not fat." Ha ha ha, this stupid fat guy. No, I can't take it anymore. Lend me a shoulder to lean on. Don't rely on it. I also fell down when I leaned on it. I fell down, I really fell down, oh my god, I'm dying of laughter. What are you laughing at? There was an outbreak over the weekend, and the brothers and sisters were happy to watch. For the new book, I asked for the collection of, The Second Element of Losing Conscience. Text chapter 422 _ watch out for those Kurigakure guys. The sudden deep questioning interrupted the cheers of the coalition ninjas like a shit stick. Mobile reading is more convenient. m.heihei168.com. The stunned ninjas turned their heads and looked at the figure on the towering rock wall. The laughter came to an abrupt end, and there was no more tone, only the roar of the waves crashing against the beach. Woo, Uchiha Madara. The full covering Uzumaki mask covers the head, Tomo-like holes open eyes, and Yuhi and purple-black eyeballs glance down. The two high-flying streamers were thrown behind his head, and the man with the fan on his back shocked everyone when he appeared. Pull the wind, domineering, contempt for everything. Gedo Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. That is. What the hell is that? The fiery setting sun dissipated, the cold moonlight rose, and the giant hundreds of meters high let out a mad roar. What the hell is that? Ino stepped back in horror, her pretty face turning pale. Shikamaru said with sweat on his forehead, "It's even bigger than Choji." I have a bad premonition. Tarui said and looked at the souls of Gedo Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. The fan of Uchiha Madara proudly raised his head, as if everything in the world was not placed by him eyes. Akamichi Choza swung his giant stick and shouted, "Son, let's go." Dad, you're not crazy, are you? Choji pointed at the guy across from him. You know what it is and you go. I won't do it. Bastard, you don't go, I go. Under the blessing of the hypermultiplier technique, the rounded giant rod rolled up and smashed into the top of the head with a howling wind. Interesting academy. Choji glanced at his father's back and wiped away his tears. Father, you are really my father. I hope the two of us don't hang up now. Wings and flying high with determination, Akamichi Choji came from behind and raised his fists. Choji, who knew the interests of Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, didn't dare to come forward. He turned his fist into a palm, grabbed his arm and fell down. The strong chakra storm roared and pulled his arm, and a boundless mighty force passed to the slap. Choji's father, flew out on the spot, and fell out of the way like two gourds on the ground. After rolling over a dozen times in a row, he stopped. The number of allied ninjas smashed to death on the road and smashed is unknown. But now the big guy has no time to control them, and he is dumbfounded when he sees that big guy. Tsuchikage, the captain of the second unit, weighed Onoki's son Lois for 2 days, and together with his girl Kuratsuchi launched the forbidden technique of mountain soil. With the shouts of the father and daughter, the mountains rising from the left to the right rumbled and sandwiched Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, in the middle. An astonishing thing happened. The face of this unimaginable attack, Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, actually supported it with both hands, and he stopped the tendency of the two mountains to close together. So powerful. How could this be? Sir Reikage, the coalition army headquarters, the perception ninja in charge of observing the battlefield exclaimed, unimaginable chakra appeared on the battlefield of the first unit. Judging from the intelligence, it is very likely it is Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. Quote. Uchiha Amadara appeared. Yes, he showed up. Bastard, I will rush over here, send a letter to the 5th generation Mizukage, and inform the 6th generation of Hokage that he is about to return. Sir Reikage. What's wrong? Yiyai turned around, her eyes burning into fireballs. QB, Ninetales, Jinchuriki, Column Force Killer B Jinchuriki, Column Force is rushing to the battlefield. What? Where did those two guys go? Reikage 4th generation raised his eyebrows and clapped his fists. Nara Shikaku sighed. It should be right. Just now I wondered why Madara suddenly appeared. Look at it now. There's an explanation for everything here. Lord Reikage, please stop them. No, Lord Reikage is the commander of the coalition. How can he act so easily? Command is handed over to him. Nara Shikaku looked at the 4th Reikage in amazement, trembling at the sudden entrustment. Your brain is better than Lao Su, but your strength is really not very good. It's good to stay here to make ideas. Besides, Yiyai suppressed her voice. Be careful of the 5 generations of Mizukage and Kurigakure, understand? I see, Lord Reikage. The front line of the first unit, Zabujan sneaked against the edge of the ruins, quietly looked at the trend of the coalition forces outside, and suddenly felt that this was an opportunity. I thought those guys wouldn't be able to use it before, but now it's just right. The artillery team, get ready, a test fire. Yes. After receiving the order to raise the muzzle, these epic-making weapons designed by Liamong, manufactured by the Snow Country Science and Technology Department, finally had a chance to appear. These are some CM caliber mountain guns, which are very simple and easy to understand. They were once widely used in the battlefield of Vietnam, and even now they are weapons of war in the third country. Simplicity, easy modification, and strong adaptability have become his distinctive features. Just like AK, it is much loved by poor countries. Liamong can create this thing, not because of his military talent, but because this thing is too simple. It is easy to make a batch without worrying about the toughness of the muzzle. However, good things come back well, but they also need money. A shell is equal to a large crystal block. A large crystal block is equal to a small crystal block. The door artillery salvo, 1 time is 0. These are all aimed at money. Let the heartbreak of the cannon rumble, and the cat wakes up early, and the swish-swish light group cuts through the night sky, attracting the allied ninjas to look up one after another. What are those? Yuhi-s, purple, blue, white, and transparent 5-colored light spheres, like shooting stars across the sky, dragging trails of tail flames under the cold moonlight. Get out of the way. That thing is coming for us. At first, there was only one shot, and no one cared about it, but the next piece of light exploded the mind. These things are horrible. The light ball fell to the ground, the UV-colored explosion, the purple corrosion, the blue icing, the white discharge, and the remaining one that was transparent to nothing, but it would be finished if you hit it. Where did these things come from? After 3 consecutive rounds of artillery bombardment, like an iron plow across the battlefield, Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, stumbled and sat on the ground, with UV's white, purple, and blue on his body. Zabujan took this opportunity to touch Tarui's back. This bottle belongs to me. There are 4 more watches today, the clouds take a break. He was aiming at it, and it was almost dead in the past 2 days. Text chapter 423_ for those who have passed away. Put it down. Baidu Interesting Academy. Who? Zabujan paused, his right hand in horror, obviously within reach, but dared not move. Uchiha Madara came out from behind him, passing through like a ghost. Tarui and Lois turned their heads, first looked at Madara, then looked at him and then turned to Yuhi Gourd and Amber Bottle. Stop, you don't want to take those ninjas away. Ha ha. Uchiha Madara grinned twice. I'm not interested in them, I'm interested in what's in them. If you can't bear it, I'll bring it back to you later. Shadow mimicry. That's it. Standing in the shadows, Nara Shikamaru pinched her hands, and, Madara's eyes turned to the shadows. It seems that the Ninja World Alliance is somewhat capable. Let's first let the Golden Horn Silver Horn with Kyubi, Ninetales Chakra take the lead, and then find a chance to seal them into that big guy, right? He, the analysis is good, it's a pity for a guy like you to be an enemy. It turned out to be true. Shikamaru, be careful. The black shadow that suddenly appeared on the top of the head fell like a mountain on the top. If he didn't see the situation, he wiped his body and ran. After a few steps, he flew out. The big feet that fell behind him lifted countless sand and gravel blocks, and the whole ground collapsed. Go in. Terrifying, tough, and unreasonable. Heihei168.com. The allied ninjas stopped attacking in desperation, and a panicked ninja cried out, "Our ultimate move is drizzle to him, how can we fight such a battle?" As long as they can achieve a little bit of victory, the ninjas will not become what they are today. However, when the enemy is too strong to be damaged, the breath of despair spreads uncontrollably. Shikamaru, are you all right? Choji fluttered his wings and looked into his arms. Shikamaru shook his head in horror. Fortunately, thanks to you, how about Captain Tarui and the others? We're fine, too. Lois ordered from the ground in a deep voice. Inform the coalition forces to withdraw temporarily and prepare for a night battle. In addition, immediately notify the headquarters to formulate a new strategic deployment, and we need support. Understood, we'll wait right away. Where's that guy? Shikamaru looked up suspiciously. Not only Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, was missing, but the 6 paths artifact was also missing. Has he retreated? A bewildered thought flooded into his mind, and the allied ninjas fell to the ground one after another, dumbfounded. Shiro, let's retreat. Without being embarrassed, he turned his head and glanced at the direction of the ninja coalition. With the tools that successfully obtained the banana fan, the subordinates, women, or wives left the battlefield. After this operation, we and the guy's deal is done. Give him the fan and we'll go home. Do you want to give up this war if you don't kill your lord? Shiro, what's wrong with you? She glanced at Haku with no doubt. She had never asked such a question before. Too many people died. Bai lowered his head, looked at the ground in a lonely way, and said, what is war, and what are we ninjas? Don't worry about those boring things, we'll just live on our own. Without further ado, he took Bai into his arms. I have you, and you have me. Dreams, ambitions, whatever, let him go. No, Haku suddenly showed a sweet smile. My dream has come true, and being able to lean on the adult's chest is Bai's greatest wish in life. Ha ha ha, I never thought that someone as bad as me would like me. Self-deprecating, heroic, laughter with a strong attachment spread far and wide, and no longer through the fan to the gangster who came to greet him. Give it to that guy, and say our agreement is complete. No more beheading adults. Don't come here. Kurigakur's murderous aura frightened the gangster who wanted to speak, and turned back halfway when he was about to leave. Where's that guy Lei Kiba? Let's go, don't kill the Lord again. Lord Lei Kiba said, don't go to him again in the future. Is that so? Looks like I'm missing another friend. But yes, for now, it's better to separate. Captain, are we just watching them leave? Why don't you do this? The bastard captain turned Byakugan angrily. Why don't you stop him? I'll let it go. The gang leader threw the banana fan into the car door. Retreat immediately, throw away all those cannons, you can't stay in this hell. Ordinary people robbing ninjas is a first-time experience. The gang leader knows in his heart that when the Union Army comes back, they will never end well. But what he thought was a bit redundant. The current coalition army can't even move, let alone arresting people, and morale has dropped to the bottom. One by one, they were wilting as if they had beaten eggplants, their heads lowered as if they had beaten a cock, their hearts were empty and at a loss. Many people even gave up the idea of giving up, and there is no chance of winning against that kind of person. What's the point of us doing this? A young Iwagakure wailed with blood and tears. Father is dead, mother is dead. Dead, all dead, what are we fighting for? Sober up, calm down. Go away. The young Iwagakure slapped open his companion's hand. My father is dead, my mother is gone, I can't even find their bodies. You wake me up, what can I do to wake up? You tell me, tell me. With two frantic questions, he fell to his knees, and the young ninja clenched his fists and hit the ground. This is just a corner of the battlefield, there are many others like him. Parents, wives and children, relatives and friends all mourned after a battle. 1st Unit Captain Tarui. 2nd Unit Captain Lois. 4th Division Acting Commander Shikamaru. The three of them were speechless when they stood together. The cold wind blew on their scarred bodies, and there was an indescribable sadness. Long time. Shikamaru said, we must end this bloody war, not for ourselves, but also for these dead comrades. Brothers and sisters, please go to support the new book in the cloud when you have time, just click on the collection. The second element of despairing conscience, please. It's not easy to do anything these days. One of your collections is the biggest affirmation of the cloud. Take a look, may Mother Earth bless you. Text Chapter-424-kill me, do you hear? Everyone, it's easier to read on mobile phones m.heihei168.com. Boy, what are you trying to do? The rock clone of Onoki, the third-generation Tsuchikage, ran to Liamong's side, and the old earth gray face showed a deep suspicion. Lu Meng looked at him amusingly. What do I want to do? I want to win this war. You sent people to kill those big names. What are you talking about? Why can't I understand? Liamong grinned and fired a cannon, but 9 out of 10 failed to hit. Don't pretend to be confused with me. Onoki's avatar bit Kiba. This old man has eaten more salt than you have traveled. Then eat slowly. 2 days later, the blue veins jumped on the forehead of the old man Li. Damn boy, I don't care what you are planning, don't get in the way of this war, otherwise I will solve you here. Old guy, do you have the ability? Liamong's face is full of lice and it doesn't itch, and there is no need to worry about debts. You are a lot older, and you are not afraid of the wind. Dead boy. 2-day-old man, you'd better not mess with me. Liamong sullenly kicked the dirt shadow clone out. I will do my best to make this war a victory, I will not cause you any trouble. Don't make me uncomfortable. What the hell are you doing, this lunatic? What good will it do to you to kill the big name? The old man Tsuchikage was half dead in the sky. If it weren't for the war that spread across the continent, all countries had to send all their living forces. The formation of the coalition forces so that the rear line of defense is empty, how can there be today's disaster? Heihei168.com. The daimyo nobles suffered heavy casualties, and the logistics line must be tight. As a result, the chances of winning the coalition army would be greatly reduced. No one knows when this battle will end. Liamong cut off meaningfully. Daming died. It's over if you send someone over to take over. Which village doesn't have some elderly ghosts? It's just right to send them there. Sure enough, you did it. The 2-day-old man bit Kiba and watched Liamong. Don't wrong people, I have never admitted it. You can't deceive the old man. Liamong smiled happily. What am I doing to deceive you? I need to pay attention to evidence. Be careful, I will sue you for slander, old man. Xiaoyi is also a person with an ID card. Don't try to use Tsuchikage's identity to press me and tell you 2 words, no way. Damn boy. Li Tiantian's face was full of livid trembling. After this matter, the old man will definitely ask you for an explanation, and the coalition forces will give you the due trial. Ha ha ha, judge who? Judge me. The 3 generations of Tsuchikage, the idiot old man, wanted to judge the young master, just dream. Even if you can convince Reikage to pull Konoha on, the lad has an advantage. Might Guy's half crippled, can't live to the end of the war, it still takes 2 more lectures. Fight with me, sell tofu, old man, let's ride a donkey to read the ledger and wait and see. After another squeaking sound of the energy cannon, Liamong simply gave up. The battle has been fought until now, and the 4 shadows of the previous generation on the opposite side have not shown any strength at all. Is Yakushi Kabuto stalling, looking up at the night sky in the sky, as if things are getting big? Gaara, this can't go on like this. The 4 generations of the same shadow flashed loneliness on the sad face. You must hurry up to seal us off. While we can speak now, you must seize the opportunity, otherwise it will not be time. It's too late. Father. I'm not qualified to be your father. The 4th generation of Kazekage lowered his eyes and dared not look at his son's eyes. Karura has always loved you deeply, but I have always hurt you. Do it, this is your Kazekage. Responsibility. Don't blame your uncle, I ordered him to do that. What? It was I who ordered Yashimaru to deceive you, in order to drive you into a desperate situation, to see if the tailed beast would go berserk, so as to determine whether your existence would be a threat to the village. If your uncle hates me, he hates me, not you. After all, he ordered that the person Shukaku sealed inside his pregnant sister was me. Do you understand? Gaara, I did all this. Yashimaru. Your uncle is a ninja from Sunagakure village, and is my direct subordinate Anbu. Whether he likes it or not, he must obey me, and obey my 4th generation Kazekage. I have imposed too many things on you, but self-righteously denied it. It was I who turned you into a Jinchuriki column force, took your life, took your mother, and took away your thoughts of your mother. Quote. The 4th generation Kazekage sighed heavily. I even took away the bond between you and others, and in the end, I will take away your life. In the end, as a father, I only left you one thing, and that is the soul. The creation and the hatred it brings. Gaara, kill me, don't hesitate any longer. Father. Gaara stared blankly at the 4th generation of Kazekage, and suddenly felt a pain in her heart, just like the night Yashimaru died. When the body is injured, it bleeds, and it looks painful, but the pain will disappear naturally with time, and it will be better if you take medicine. Yashimaru sucked the cut finger. However, in my heart wounds are not that easy to deal with, and they are hard to heal. Quote. Ellipsis. Heart hurt. The wound in the heart is not the same as the wound on the body. There is no medicine to heal like the wound on the body, and it cannot even be healed in a lifetime. There is only one thing that can heal the wound in the heart, but it is not easy to obtain this thing. Because it can only be obtained from others. That is love. Love. That's right. Then how do I get this thing? Sir Gaara, you have already got it. The Shukaku of sand is a creature that exists to attack, but your sand is always guarding you. They do not come from Shukaku, but from your mother. Even if your sister dies, to keep guarding you, there is her will in those sands. Because she loves you all the time. Quote. Gaara, what are you waiting for? The 4 generations of Kazekage shouted irritably. I don't deserve to be your father at all. use your courage as a cage to solve me, and don't let me lose my last dignity after death. And perseverance. I am Cage, the 4th generation, and must not be a murderer who harms the village. Quote. Kill me, do you hear me, Gaara? The brothers and sisters watched happily, and felt that the inner fluctuations of the characters in Hokage were difficult to grasp. Maybe it's because of the newcomers, I always feel not very satisfied. However, the cloud will do its best to write, and if you have any comments, please leave a message. Text Chapter 425 Continuing Legacy. 4th generation of Cage to sternly and strictly order his own son to kill him spread throughout the wilderness. Interesting Academy. Gaara floated blankly in the air, facing his father across a pothole that was dozens of meters deep. Kill me, hear me, kill me like a man. You have a great mother, even if you die, you will believe in and protect you to this day. She made you Cage, had friends, gained bonds, made you have everything that I took away again. As a father, I will only take away. No, I don't even have the qualifications to be your father. This is the second time the 4th generation of Cage has said this today, and everyone who said it is sour. Even the other 3 shadows who were summoned at the same time as him were not happy. My, 970. Arrow stared blankly at his father who was bowing his head, suddenly raised his head. I really hated you and wished I could kill you, but I also remember the doll you gave me. Gaara. The 4th generation Cage raised his eyes in astonishment, and finally found the little bear that his son had been taking with him. Mother is indeed very, very great, and I love her very, very much, but it was you who first entered my heart, father. The yellow sand that rumbled from the ground, opened its hands gently, its face was not very clear, but it was barely recognizable as a woman. 4 generations of fathers laughed and laughed. Karura, is that you? I can feel your warmth again, and I will be content in this life. Son, you are good, the village will ask you. The endless yellow sand rushed into the sky, shrouding the night, and all the 4 shadows that were deliberately kept in their hands were wrapped in the sand. 2nd generation Mizukage looked at the spell stuck to his chest and smiled. To seal us in this way, not bad, kid, well done. Interesting Academy. Don't be too happy, idiot's mustache. The 3rd generation Raikage shouted with thunder light all over his body. Our body reacts instinctively, this 3 bad ninjutsu. Not good. Rewind. 3 cage-level giants suddenly burst out. Except for the 4 generations of Cage who were relieved, the remaining 3 rushed over. Liamong retreated to the back to take a look, and made a retreat gesture to Tamari. You guys play slowly, brother and wife went to the play. Fu-kun. Hurry up, Anko, Hinata follow. Surround them. Time is not forgiving, Onoki. The 2nd generation Tsuchikage looked at his disciple with a sigh, and in the blink of an eye, the little ghost of the day became the old man of today. 3rd generation Tsuchikage opened his eyes nervously, and in the blink of an eye, the 2nd generation Tsuchikage disappeared in front of him. Go and call that young Cage over, if you don't find me right away, you will die. Yo, there are a lot of people here. The eyebrowless 2nd generation Mizukage picked up his mustache. Listen, my skills are not so easy to deal with. Stay away from me, I will tell you my weaknesses. Raise your ears and remember, I use Yin Dun, which is demonic illusion, and the psychic beast is a mirage. Biting my thumb, I patted the center of the magic circle on the ground, and a huge muscle rose from the ground. Looking at the allied ninjas flying around, Raikage of the 3rd generation shouted. I used Raiden Thunder style, the ninja called Futon Wind style to attack, and the ninja of Doden Earth style to defend. Thank you Ni for your reminder, and please be more specific if you can. This will not work. The Yakushi Kabuto cat heard this in the underground cave and quickly tightened his control. Damn, the 3rd generation of Raikage is really an unreliable pawn. In this case, let me lose consciousness. Woods, full moon, night wind. Using Kyubi Ninetales chakra to illuminate the top of the road ahead, although there may be risks, but we are not afraid, oh Ruola. Killer Bee rap and singing followed Naruto, and suddenly asked, "Boy, I've always wanted to ask you a question." "Uncle B, say it." Killer B sighed sternly. "Jinchuriki column force, since you chose to leave the village, why did you still participate in this battle? If you don't like them, why do you work hard for them? Hide with me. Don't you feel up?" "Uncle B, what's the matter? I can't say it." "No." Naruto shook his head, "just thinking of some people." "Remember some people?" Naruto graciously said, "Sasuke, senior brother Nagato, boss Liamong, teacher Uruka, and many others." "Did they have a good relationship with you?" "Yes, the relationship is very good." Naruto sniffled and wiped away a little bit of crystal, "but they are good, everyone has their own position." Nagato-san said that as long as the world is not unified for one day, people will be divided into two parts. In different countries, war has become inevitable. People's positions are different, and there will be fights. When parents, wives, children, relatives and friends die at the hands of the enemy, hatred becomes inevitable. Quote. "What are you talking about? Isn't it better to be confused?" "I want to end it." Naruto turned his head with a smile. Killer B was startled. "What did you say? You want to end it?" "Yes, I want to end it. End this cursed fate. End this endless hatred." "Ha ha ha, boy, your ambitions are really lofty, and you have culture. So, do you know how to do it?" "I don't know." Thump Tom. "You don't know." Killer B gnawed his mouth full of black mud with his head down. "Don't you know you're so sure?" Uzumaki Naruto smiled awkwardly. "I'm going to do it because I don't know." "I don't know what to do." Killer B's eyes are all slanted. "Is this little head sick? If you don't know, you want to do it, but you don't know how to do it." Naruto Uzumaki looked at the sky with deep eyes. "It's because I don't know. I'm going to pursue and find it." Brother Nagato understands the pain of the world and wants to end the war with this, but he failed. But it doesn't matter. Inherit I, who he left behind, will definitely find a solution to end this cursed fate. Quote. "Boy, are you serious?" Uzumaki Naruto nodded heavily. "I will follow in the footsteps of Master Jiraiya and inherit the unfinished aspirations of my brother. Uncle B, I will tell you secretly that I am the son of destiny." There is another chapter. Union will work hard. Today, the man playing outside should be self-improvement, and Union will be bored. Who the hell does this good thing? 10 will not bother him. 7 or 8 points in a song, to die for blood. Text chapter 426 _ those unforgettable eyes. Che, I'm not young, and my tone is not small. But boy, are you sure you can make up your mind? If you don't say anything else, you can't deal with the boy you often chant. Uncle B. Be realistic, live realistically, and don't recognize your own idiot. Killer B rapped and gestured. I don't want to see you die. Uzumaki Naruto was silent. After a while, a sentence floated into the wind. Something has to be done by someone else. Ha ha ha, you are so great, like a fool. Maybe I'm really a fool. Naruto sighed and shook his head, thinking of the friend he had been looking for under the cold moonlight. Sasuke, what are you doing now? Do you remember once? Konoha, school, children. Today, it's your first time to have a battle drill. So, keep your ears up and listen. Uruka stood in the sun and patted his notebook, and made 2 pops. The person who read my name entered the circle. Out of bounds counts as failure, understand? Choji, Shikamaru, you 2 come first. Go. Come on. Who will my opponent be? Naruto stood in the crowd and glanced back and forth. On the first day of school, they must let them know the interests of Lao Su. Could it be that guy? He looks more stinky than the bastard that the teacher kicked out. If only he could be replaced. If I beat this guy, my classmates will definitely agree with me. Ha ha ha, I'm the best, yes, that's it. That teacher. What's wrong, Choji? Uruka looked suspiciously at the chubby dude who was looking at him. I really don't want to shoot at my friends. You misunderstood. Uruka explained with a smile. This is not a battle, but a traditional ninja duel. Hokage has relied on this method to improve its strength. So, you don't need to worry. Forget it, teacher, those who came out of the circle will lose, right? Shikamaru copied Kabuto with both hands and walked out of the bounds. His clothes were baggy and indescribably decadent. Uruka and the students were all dumbfounded. What is this guy doing? He admits defeat before he even fights. What a motivating guy. He won't be a chunin in his life, right? That's a possibility. The young Shino pushed on his glasses. As soon as he grows, maybe one day he will. You don't have to be bullshit. Inazuka Kiba smirked and wiped the tip of his nose. If he can be chunin, I will eat all the desks in the school. Hey, Ino, what's wrong with you? Really? The young Yamanaka sister complained to her friend with a bitter face. Shikamaru's troublesome guy is really embarrassing to my mother, and Choji is not up to it. You know them. Sakura, who had the pink butterfly festival above her head, turned her head to look inside. Ino nodded angrily. Our parents have a good relationship, they used to be comrades in arms. Is that so? Sakura blinked curiously, while Uruka Spartan was making notes in the notebook. Forget the two of you. Shikamaru Choji seals the seal of reconciliation. I'm sorry. Choji stretched out his finger and hooked his friend, apologizing embarrassedly. Shikamaru smiled indifferently. It's nothing. I'm afraid of trouble anyway, so that's fine. Uruka silently observed the two friends and sighed in admiration and helplessness. The friendship that can be had since childhood is really rare, but these two guys are not worth it. One is lazy, and the other lacks courage. What a big deal. The next group, Uchiha Sasuke, Uzumaki Naruto, the two of you enter the arena. Uruka was a little stunned and hurriedly called out his name. Does Lord Hokage want to inspect them? Take a good look at this. Come on, Sasuke. Teach the yellow-haired boy a good lesson and beat him to pieces. Cut, what the fuck? Uzumaki Naruto looked over the goggles and looked at Ursuko who was standing in the arena, thinking to himself, if he could defeat him, he would definitely be as popular as him. By the time Naruto quickly entered the arena. Ah, right now. Hearing Uruka's urging, the young man awakened from his sweet dream, rolled up his arms and tucked up his cuffs, stepped into the middle circle like a crab, pointed to the opposite side and shouted, "Let the horse come over, you stinky bastard." Snort. The tail of the crane that's dragging its legs. What did you say, you fox man? Don't quarrel. Uruka stood in the middle with a headache and slapped the scoreboard vigorously. Before you stand against each other, you must form a seal of opposition. This is etiquette. Don't quarrel when you come up. There's no need for that useless thing. Uzumaki glared at the opposite with his fist. I can knock him down immediately, and the classmates will like me. Boring. Ursuko looked at Naruto coldly. Since you want to beg for a fight, I'll do it for you. Shut up, you two. Uruka shouted, her mouth opened like a hippo. Ninja duel is a traditional method since the establishment of the ninja school, and the rules must be followed. Although this is a bit limited by the situation, it must be followed in the school. It's important to understand. Uruka roared and pointed his sword. Before the fight, the one-handed hand seal signaled to the opponent. This is half of the ninjutsu with the two-handed hand seal. It means that you are about to enter the battle, and it is the seal of opposition. The winner will be determined in the battle. After that, we have to stretch out the seal of opposition that we formed earlier to hook each other. This is the seal of reconciliation. It means that we are still friends. These are the rules of ninja training. Hey, I said Naruto, did you hear me? You're so annoying, I've said it twice. Naruto poked out his ears impatiently, with a greasy look on his face. Uruka got annoyed. Just answer it once, idiot. Yes, I know. Then, now, make the seal of battle, and the battle begins. Come on, Sasuke. Yamanaka Ino shouted. Her light yellow hair danced like an elf in the sun, and Haruno Sakura suddenly stopped moving. A gust of wind blows. Two teenagers who dislike each other launched a charge. Punch, leg swing, foot probing. Naruto, who had just talked a lot, fell to the ground in less than a click, and Sasuke's clenched fist was only half a finger away from him. The students cheered and applauded, but the boy who fell to the ground didn't hear this at all, only those eyes that were as black as cold coals. The brothers and sisters were happy to see that Union was called out by Chinwei to buy something and just sent it to the car. Next, I will do my best to code words, so that people can play songs and make noise at night. I can't stand it anymore. When it is played at 7 o'clock, can you imagine what kind of torture it is? Crash, really crash. Text chapter 427_worry in the dark. Uzumaki Naruto will never forget the image of the first battle with Sasuke. Baidu Interesting Academy may have formed an inseparable friendship between the two since then. In those eyes, he saw hatred, resentment, and all the negative emotions in the world, just like the eyes of the villagers looking at him when they were young. No, it was stronger than that. However, Naruto found that the eyes were not looking at him, and he was silent and completely out of focus. Uchiha Sasuke wins, Iruka wrote down on the notebook. Okay, now we'll reconcile. Sasuke frigidly got up and shook off the broken hair. Urzuzi grabbed her hands and left. Naruto lying on the ground was stunned for a moment, then jumped up angrily. You arrogant guy, you can't even say a word, what attitude. You pile of stinky shit, the sparse boss smells like a camel. Shit. This idiot can't even curse people. Such a brainless kid. Sasuke is so handsome. You stop, do you hear? Idiot. Iruka roared and raised his fists. Ninja practice is a sacred tradition. You two bastards, give me the seal of reconciliation. Sasuke. Naruto. Reconcile with this crane tail. Smelly fox man. The obviously defensive sword fingers approached slowly. Sasuke on the left raised his eyebrows, and Naruto on the right pouted. Hurry up, Iruka urged angrily. Quickly end the seal of reconciliation. Reconciliation. Just him. Just him. The fingertips that were about to approach suddenly turned into fists and grabbed each other's collar, and Sasuke and Naruto's heads faced each other. The tail of the crane. Stinky man. Aren't you convinced? You're holding back. Staring at eye to eye, fist to fist, Iruka, with his head full of Spartans, rushed over. Stop, you two idiots, separate quickly. Naruto sucks. What are you doing? It's an idiot to be able to fight even if you can't beat it. Pieces of fallen leaves drifted to each other with the rustling Lin Feng, and Naruto, who was on his way to the moonlight, quietly returned to his senses. Sasuke. In the dark underground secret room, the eyeballs of the orangutan Yuhi slowly rotated, and the herringbone-shaped windmill matched with the hexagonal snowflakes made people tremble like a star. Haven't you figured it out yet? The black shadow that emerged from the eddy current stood at the door, and a corner of the fan was shining brightly under the throbbing candlelight. There's nothing I want to understand. Yuhi closed his eyes, and Sasuke leaned against the wall. Those who live on hatred are destined to have no good results. Since they have chosen this path, they must go on firmly. When you come to others, you are also destroying yourself. This is the fate of the Avengers. When you destroy everything, the Avengers will also come to an end. For example, you, quote. The blood-colored pupils that opened suddenly shot out endless black fire and swept towards the void. Uchiha Sasuke raised his right hand with suffocation. Chidori current Chidori sharp spear. I don't care if you are Madara or anything else, all the guys who play with Itachi and use Itachi have to die. When you return to this space, you will die. Sasuke, you dare to betray me, betray your ancestors. I have never regarded you as an ancestor, so how can I say betrayal? Ursukezzi pointed forward with his sword, the originally fierce thunder-type chakra, but there was no fluctuation in his hand, just like a fluorescent tube. With pride. Madara, who escaped into the void, knew how terrifying this kind of thing was. This is the ultimate of nature transformation, just like Rasengan's morphological transformation. It is a symbol of ninjutsu reaching its highest point. First block the entire underground with the fire of Amaterasu, and then shoot through the body with the thunder-type chakra. Will you die as soon as you come out? As expected of Itachi's younger brother, he can use ninjutsu to such an extent. Itachi, your brother is indeed a genius that the Uchiha family can achieve for decades. The older brother demonic illusion has extraordinary attainments, and the younger brother has extraordinary ninjutsu practice. However, you are still pawns in my hands. Sasuke, see you next time. The body that escaped into the void disappeared into the wall and disappeared without a trace, and Urzuko's face was cold and turned into a black pot. I won't let you go, just like I won't let Konoha go, and I won't let anyone who hurt Itachi. He took out the letter full of numbers from his arms and looked at it. Sasuke turned it into fly ash. Remember, for the sake of my classmates, I will only help you this time. If there is any contact in the future, I will come to this book. Hula threw off his cape and walked out of the empty underground. The Avengers who snorted coldly ran to the nearest city and stayed in a bookstore for a long time. The battlefield of the first and second troops, Lois and Tarui were in tears after counting the damage. How much do you have left? It's only less than 1/3, and there are almost no uninjured people. Tarui exhaled a long sullen breath. Lois, who was also not much better, bit Kiba and took the battle damage report, and the man of several decades shed tears. Neji, how are you? Inuzuka Kiba jumped into the corner several times in succession, and the eldest young master of the Hyuga branch, who was slumped in front of the broken wall, had a dark expression on Yuhi's face. Ellipsis. Inuzuka Kiba leaned in front of him and suddenly froze. What kind of eyes are those? Godless, empty, like an abyss. Just staring at it for a while, I feel that I have fallen into a freezing cold pool, and even my breathing is forced to stop. Neji. Go away. The eldest young master from the Hyuga family pushed Kiba way beside him, swayed twice and stood up slowly, and fell several times in a row to barely stabilize his body. Inuzuka Kiba wanted to step forward to help, but those eyes made him unable to lift his feet. Tenten came over. Might Guy and Little Lee also came with reinforcements, and many people they knew and didn't know came over. Blue Yi, Ino, Choji, the newcomer Ino Shikacho who has been in the limelight in this war watched from a distance with deep concern in his eyes. Looking at him, it's like seeing Sasuke. That guy seems to be on the horns. Is it because of his father? Choji turned to look at his friend, and Shikamaru ordered with a complicated look. Send all the wounded back to rest. Ino, please tell Sakura. Is that so? Be prepared, he is not mentally healthy now. Shikamaru sighed faintly. I hope I was wrong. That look. Brothers and sisters are happy to watch. The Cloud continues to work hard, and it will probably be the same in the future, working hard to code words during the day and rest at night. It will be updated in advance in the morning. There may be more updates, but it will not be possible to code at night. Playing a song for 7 or 8 hours is really bloody. Text chapter 428 while intrigue is going on. Master of the house. Did Neji deliver it? Hyuga Hiyashi knelt in the tent, holding a scattered rag in his hand. Mobile reading is more convenient. m.heihei168.com. The eye-catching man who was kneeling behind him to report the letter replied, I sent it there. It was escorted by Captain Lois himself, so there should be no problem. Go back. His hand to send the clansmen to close their eyes. Hyuga Hiyashi stared at the debris and froze. Split, main clan. Hazashi, it would be nice if you took the position of the patriarch. It's a pity that you didn't understand until now. Hyuga Hiyashi whispered in a soft voice that no one could hear, and who could know the pain in his heart. Who knows what the ancestors really meant? You can't say such a thing. Hyuga family ancestral motto, do not participate in power struggles. Do you, 840 inches really divide the family into two for control? Hazashi, you are wrong, but brother is also wrong. Maybe I should say something to you. Hyuga Hiyashi, who finally looked at the candlestick and saw it turn to ashes, sighed. The night was very cold, and people's hearts were very cold. The two men moved forward slowly, pulling out two long shadows on the ground. How much do you know about Akatsuki? A little more than you. The man walking on the right paused slightly. Looking at the night sky inconveniently with his left leg and feet, he snorted self-deprecatingly. In the end, we were used by others. Fortunately, your pupil strength is strong enough that you will not be immediately controlled by the caster. Interesting academy is the first launch. Pain. The man walking on the right raised his head and said, you have the power of 6 paths, Rinnegan, plus my Mangekyo. These 2 powers are almost invincible. It seems that the caster wants to use us to do something. At the rear of the coalition headquarters, at the medical ninja camp, Uzumaki Karen complained to Shizune tiredly, Sister, why do we have to do such a troublesome thing? It's so boring. Stop complaining here, get some rest and go help quickly. But it's really tiring. Karen still didn't want to move. Even if you do and know them, why do you work so hard for these guys? Really, it's all the trouble caused by that big bad guy. Captain, there are 2 seriously injured numbers here that you need to take care of yourself. I'll be there soon. Shizune looked back at Karen, if you're tired, take a break. Forget it, I'll go with you. The wards filled with the wounded screamed constantly. There were so many people who were missing arms and legs. In good luck, they could still be disabled. In bad luck, they couldn't insist on rescue. Too many people were injured, and there were too few medical ninjas. People are dying every moment. If the master is here, there is no need for such trouble. Uzumaki Karen mentioned chakra without complaint, and healed the burnt skin of the wounded number on the hospital bed. Shizune, who was busy, shook his head, and was also worried in his heart. What did Tsunade-sama do? Come on, bastard, drink. My good sister, you've had enough. Sitting at the square table full of wine bottles, Lu Meng grabbed the bottle with force. Give it back to me. Senju Tsunade yelled angrily, staggering into Liamong's arms. A little warm tears spread out from his chest, and Liamong stopped the hand that wanted to mix people. Senju Tsunade sobbed silently, his plump body trembling in his arms. Liamong swallowed a little unnaturally, remembering the story about Lu Shahui. That guy is definitely a eunuch. You bastard, do you think I'm a failure? Senju Tsunade turned over with a drunk face and Yuhi's face, T-gold eyes filled with tears, confusion and bitterness. My grandfather died, my parents did not now, even my younger brother and lover have left one after another. People in their 50s don't even have anyone to talk to. Quote. You still have me, Liamong said firmly. You. Tsunade shook his head drunkenly. You bastard, I'm enough to be your grandma. I don't care. But I care. Tsunade looked at Liamong in confusion. I knew for a long time that you were not at ease. Are you happy now? The slender jade fingers gently raised his chin. Senju Tsunade clucked his chest. You son of a bitch, don't be mean to my sister in the future, or I'll tell your daughter-in-law. I'm serious. Liamong looked at Tsunade without blinking. Senju Tsunade was stunned for a moment, then raised the jug with a smile. What nonsense are you talking about? Don't make fun of this kind of thing. If you're sincere to your sister, you can accompany her to drink. Okay, I'll accompany you to drink. Bottle after bottle of icy hotness poured into my lungs, and the more I drank Tsunade, the more tears I shed. Lu Meng silently accompanied him. Tsunade drank a bottle, he drank a bottle, and in the blink of an eye, the table was covered with wine bottles. Perhaps it was the reason for drinking too much, or the reason for the heavy blows during the day. Princess Slug, who had always appeared in front of the world as a strong woman, turned out to be like a child, crying and laughing while complaining about her pain. When I was a child, I followed my grandfather to gamble around, and when I was older, I became classmates with Jiraiya Orochimaru. When the first ray of morning sun came through the skylight, the woman who had been drinking all night finally fell down. The dazed light in his head swayed twice, and he also lost consciousness. The last thought before falling asleep seemed to have encountered 2 steamed buns. Just as Liamong and Senju Tsunade were drinking to death, a shocking tragedy occurred in the medical unit behind the Allied Army headquarters. In just one night, hundreds of ninjas lost their lives, and the few medical ninjas became more and more stretched. Sakura, you have to be careful. I know Neji, is your injury okay? It's alright. Hyuga Neji shook his arms. It's okay, just go back to the battlefield right away. I really envy you for being able to take part in the battle. Haruno Sakura patted her cheek in disappointment. I should be considered a ninja in the fighting force, but now I'm going to fall behind Ino. She will definitely make fun of her, and I don't know that crazy woman. How is your son? The rushing waves rushed to the sandy beach of dark Yuhi, staining the air with a hint of saltiness. Neji, are you really okay with this? At the front of the coastline, Inuzuka Kiba looked at Neji, who insisted on not going back, and bent down. There are still 3 chapters, and the cloud code will be coded until death, so if there are 7 chapters, there will be 7 chapters. There's a lot of shit going on this day and night. Brothers and sisters are free to support the new book, just click on the collection. The second element of losing conscience. Text Chapter-421-440 Neji, who automatically please respond. I want to be alone for a while. Interesting academy. Is there really no problem? Inuzuka Kiba looked at Neji worriedly. Don't insist, I'll call Akamaru Camel back. Do you know you're annoying? You stinky eldest young master, you're still trying to be brave even if you can't do it. You don't even look at how you are about to die. If you want me to tell you, you should go back quickly. It's so noisy, can you make me quieter? Hyuga Neji yelled angrily beside him. Sprayed his face with spittle, hummed twice. Inuzuka Kiba was stunned. What are you doing? You can't even tell the difference between a dog and a human. Are you still a ninja with pupil skills? Get the hell out of here. Hyuga Neji growled, with a pale face, purple Yuhi black and white. Was so startled, ran out of the tent with Akamaru, looking like he was biting LV Dongbin. He didn't know good people. Sounds fine. Yamanaka Ino sat on the air vent and exhaled a sullen breath. The sea breeze blew her light yellow hair with a graceful beauty. Shikamaru stared at it for a while. After the battle during the day, everyone's has become very low, and tomorrow will definitely be more troublesome. Can't even you do it? I don't know. Shikamaru looked at the sea in confusion. In the past, no matter what happened, I could think of a way to deal with it. But this time, I really have no choice. Shikamaru spoke in a very low voice, with a very disappointed tone. No amount of clever tactics will help against a ninja like Uchiha Madara. Because he won't play chess face to face with you at all, but will smash the board with a slap. This time I really Stop talking, okay. Ino shook his head slowly. Shikamaru, you have always been the backbone of everyone. If you lose your fighting spirit, what will we do? Yamanaka Ino looked at his friend gently, smoothing the strands of hair that had slipped in front of him. You must cheer up, never, you can't show such a decadent look now. Baidu Interesting Academy, you are the acting captain of the coalition army, and everyone is watching you. Ino. Come on, our lives will be handed over to you. Yamanaka Ino embraced Shikamaru with open arms, smoothing his frown bit by bit. Be more confident, show your former appearance, even if you're hanging. Swing is also stronger than it is now. Quote. Is that right? Shikamaru looked at the sea in confusion. The waves under the moonlight slapped the beach, and a few stranded swimming fish kept flapping and trying to return to the sea, but they were washed back by the sea again and again. Is the sea water too ruthless, or the fish itself is powerless? Shikamaru stared blankly for a long time, until the moon was in the middle of the sky, then got up and walked to the shore, throwing the dying fish into the sea with all his strength. Ino, thank you. No matter what the future holds, we must face it bravely and never be a fish waiting to die on the beach. Report. The medical team was seriously injured. What's the matter? Nara Shikaku heard this and stood up suddenly. Isn't there a sentient ninja involved in the defense? Why didn't the enemy find it? Is it poisoning or something else? What is the condition of the corpse? It seems to be all trauma, which is a physical attack. Report. Someone in the second unit was assassinated. Report. The fifth unit has it too. Report. The same thing happened to the third unit. The spate of attacks came from the ninja in charge of liaison, and Shikaku, the temporary commander-in-chief of the coalition, pressed on the table and said, the attackers only used physical attacks, and there was no enemy at the scene, so there is only one possibility of demonic illusion. Sex. Is it Itachi? Commander, although Uchiha Itachi is the only one who can use demonic illusion to control others by hiding in places where our perception forces are beyond our ability, but Itachi can't even control a number of people in such a wide range and accurately. Not Itachi, who could that be? No, it's not good. At the medical ninja camp, a male medical officer ran out of the camp with a frantic look. Tono and Takemaru Jonin are both dead, and so is Mizuki Jonin. What? Someone else died. The ninjas gathered by Hula poured into the tent, and the three ninjas who fell in a pool of blood widened their eyes, as if something terrifying had happened. The strangest thing is that the Jonin named Mizuno still has a smile on his face. What exactly is going on? It is estimated that there are enemy spies lurking in. An elderly ninja squatted down and turned over the body, and said solemnly, it was all one-shot kills, the murderer was an acquaintance, and it was a direct hand. Just reported the letter. Where's the guy? Looking back and forth with question marks all over his forehead, the allied ninjas running over were all blinded. The older ninja raised his eyes and looked at the crowd with scrutiny. Many people were uncomfortable with his Lingli's gaze, but they did not choose to avoid them. The main target of the enemy's assassination is the medical treatment of Jonin, please be careful. How is this possible? The perception ninja who hurried from a distance looked at the corpse and said in amazement, everyone who enters the camp must go through our chakra perception to confirm their identity. How did the enemy get in? Transformation technique can't pass to that level, which means that only our own people can come in. If this is the case, it is very likely that our people have been controlled by the enemy's technique. In this case, Sakura, who is halfway through the analysis, suddenly fell silent, but none of the people present were fools. In an instant, the crowd that was still crowded together immediately dispersed, and all of them put on alert eyes, even their former companions were the same. What happened? Shizune led Karen to separate the crowd with a tired look, and the older ninja who was squatting on the ground to examine the corpse briefly reported the situation. Shizune is also stupid after listening to it. Standing in the crowd, Hyuga Neji suddenly realized, so it is, if we are our own people, it will be troublesome. If we can't distinguish the enemy, everyone is bound to suspect each other and cause confusion. Maybe this is the goal the enemy wants to achieve. This matter must be resolved as soon as possible. Shizune looked around anxiously. The medical ninja is now an extremely important part of the tactical layout. To fight against the undead army of impure world reincarnation, it is hard to imagine without our support. Because the enemy's attack has paralyzed this place, it will seriously affect the Battle of Akatsuki Asuka. If that's the case, leave it to me. Hyuga Neji, who had made it clear earlier, responded, let me use these eyes to catch the enemy in the dark. Is it from the Konoha Hyuga clan? If it was them, it might be possible. Please rest assured, I will bet on the reputation of the Hyuga family, and I will definitely find the enemy hidden in the dark. There are 2 more chapters, and tonight is the hero song playing outside. God, let a divine thunder strike him to death. Text chapter 430 _ you idiot is worse than a pig. What's your brother's name? Bastard, I'm the only one in my family, where's the younger brother? You're stupid. I'm sorry. Everyone has started to distrust each other. Hearing the apology and roar from outside, Shizune frowned with a headache. The little girl Karen also frowned frequently. These people's eyes are wrong. If this continues, you don't have to wait for tomorrow, maybe everyone will fight by themselves. Where's Pubu? Haven't found Tsunade-sama yet. I don't know, it will come back when it is found. Shizune sighed. No matter what, the wounded can't be ignored, and the treatment has to continue. However, it is also necessary to be vigilant, especially the medical Jonin. But they also. There's no way. Shizune shook his head at Karen. If you can't catch the enemy, everyone won't feel at ease. It's better to guard against each other. It's always safe. I really hate it. People will be suspected wherever I go. Why don't we go? Uzumaki Karen pursed his lips, disgusting the current state very much. Shizune swiped the bridge of her nose in a funny way. They're all big girls, but they're still talking nonsense. How can they just leave now? Not to mention the identity of Senior Sister's ninja team leader. Even these wounded people can't be ignored. This is the ultimate realization of being a doctor. Quote. It's boring to be conscious and not conscious. Uzumaki Karen looked out the window angrily, and an old ninja from the opposite tent walked in. Seeing the old ninja coming in, the bald head inside twitched his eyelids. Come on, it's almost time for a visit. Yeah, it's your turn. Mobile reading is more convenient. m.heihei168.com. Where did I meet you for the first time? The bald-headed ninja looked at the old ninja dodgingly, then quickly moved away. I'm not doubting you and me, I am. You are clearly doubting me. Hug, sorry, you know that too. I understand. The old ninja put down the medical kit and shook his head and sighed. Let's not talk about you now. Even those patients have begun to embankment each other, and even the examination will be rejected, and some seriously injured patients no longer believe us. Is that so? The bald-headed ninja wiped his cold sweat and looked at the old ninja apologetically. While the two were talking, someone else lifted the curtain and walked in. It's you. What are you doing here? Have you seen Haruno Sakura? What's wrong? The bald ninja was very strange. There was a suspicious guy who was accidentally lost by me just now. Thinking about it now, he always hangs around Sakura. Sakura is in tent 3. What does the guy you're talking about look like? That guy. The ninja who came in took 2 steps forward, and both the old ninja and the bald head were attracted. Suddenly, the ninja moved in when he entered, and 2 kunai stabbed them in the chest from the left and the right. The old ninja and the bald head lowered their gazes blankly, fell to the ground in disbelief, and died with consternation and confusion. The black-clothed ninja who finished killing people smiled evilly. That guy is me, you guys are so stupid. Outside the door of tent number 3, the ninja who had been wandering for a long time finally made up his mind to lift the curtain. Haruno Sakura smiled when she saw the person coming. So it's you, does the wound still hurt? No, it doesn't hurt anymore. Actually, since you started treating me, your shadow has lingered in my mind. This is a love letter I wrote. The ninja who entered the door was very embarrassed and handed the letter, with a panic mixed with anxiety. The war will start again tomorrow, and I will go to the battlefield again, and I don't know if I will be able to come back alive. So, thank you. Sakura took the letter generously and smiled sweetly. I already have someone I like. But I am still very happy to receive your love letter. I will treasure it. This is my first time received. Is that so? I'm so sorry. The ninja who came in scratched his head and wanted to say something when someone else came in from outside. Neji. You have something to do, then I'll go first. The ninja who came in earlier smiled awkwardly. Sakura, get along well. The person you like must be amazing. I wish you happiness together. Thank you. Haruno Sakura forced a lonely smile twice. Neji watched the ninja leave and walked to the side. Are you okay? It's fine. I went out for a spin just now. Neji looked back at the night outside and sighed. Everyone's mood is very low, and this is something that can't be helped. After all, even the enemy lurking in the dark doesn't know where. Are you all nervous? Sakura asked nervously. Neji nodded and clapped his chin as if remembering something. By the way, Sakura, where is Captain Shizune? Captain Shizune. Sakura's slender moth raised his eyebrows. Captain Shizune is in the tent. Did you find something? Neji graciously said, no matter how small the clues are, we can't let go until the enemy is found. That's right, then you can go to the tent and have a look. The captain should be there. Her adopted dolphin has disappeared recently. Very sad. you should pay attention. Thanks for the reminder, but I think I'll be back soon. Get back. Sakura's pupils shrank imperceptibly. By your auspicious words, that little girl is too naughty and always loves to run out of nothing. Don't worry, auspicious people have their own nature. Children always like to run around, it's just fine when they grow up. Neji seemed to comfort her with a few words of kindness, rubbing her wrist and hissing, my injury still hurts a bit, can you take another look for me? Okay, come and sit down. Sakura stood up recklessly and gave up the chair. As soon as Hyuga Neji sat up, dozens of threads wrapped around his body. Sakura, what are you doing? Although I don't know who you are, but you are definitely not Neji. Haruno Sakura raised her chin high, her snow-white teeth bit the end of the thread, and her hands and feet were all stepping on the end of the thread. Hyuga Neji was stunned. How did you find out? Do the Hyuga's family still need to ask for directions? Idiot, you don't even have this common sense. Besides, when did the dolphin become a child? That girl is obviously a pig. You idiot is worse than a pig. There is another chapter. Oh, the cloud will work hard. Text Chapter 431 The Role of Uzumaki Karen. It turns out that dolphin is a pig. Heihei168.com Just, do you think you can trap me like this? White Zetsu's head turned to the back, completing an impossible transformation for a normal person. Haruno Sakura smiled and looked at the face he turned around. This is not good, what about this? The left foot that stepped on the ground slashed hard, and the entire tent and the ground were all lit up with black seals, and the tadpole-like rune spread along the outline of the outline to White Zetsu who was trapped in the chair. Seal. You can't hand seal. How did you activate the seal? Even pigs are not as good as things. Can you understand the magic of this girl? Haruno Sakura snorted proudly. Liamong opened the door for her to become a strong man, and she lived up to Liamong's expectations. What does the inner and outer spiritual bodies mean? It means that she can practice and study anytime, anywhere. Although it is not as good as Naruto's pervert, it is not comparable to ordinary people. This is all my credit. Sakura waved her fists frantically in the sea of consciousness, but Sakura didn't pay attention to her at all. After tying White Zetsu with a thread, she asked coldly, how did you imitate Neji chakra, and what kind of ninjutsu did you use? You'd better explain it honestly. Ha ha ha, I want to use torture to extract a confession. It's useless for my avatar. For the sake of your ability to catch me, I will provide you with a piece of information for free. It's not just me who sneaked in. Don't be arrogant here, you weirdo. Beat him, flatten him, stab him with a knife. To shut up. Sakura sneered at Li Ying and yelled, what time is it? You still have time to be angry with him. Quickly analyze what's going on. You idiot, think about that guy playing Rotten Wood Escape. Interesting Academy first release. The two Sakura inside and outside started their brains with noise and analysis, and quickly sorted out the information with a method and speed beyond the understanding of ordinary people. You can absorb other people's chakra and use it, and then change the same chakra, right? Who knows? White Zetsu replied calmly, the vigilance in his heart suddenly increased by an octave. This girl has a very keen judgment. Haruno Sakura looked at him sneeringly, an idiot who is more stupid than a pig. No matter what you become, you are not good and always panic. You are really mentally retarded. Don't you know that your performance is enough for me to make a judgment? A fool is always a fool, and no matter how evolutionary it is, there can be no time to be wise. Quote. Sister Shizune, let's hurry up. Uzumaki Karen pushed the glasses and Hula opened the curtain. Haruno Sakura got up and looked back, and the three of them were stunned. It seems that we are not needed here. Uzumaki Karen pouted depressedly. Shizune raised his hand and gave it to her. I can sense it early in the morning, why did I say it at this time? Please, senior sister, I just wondered if it was good or not. You know how much hatred among these ninjas, it's normal to be hostile to each other. I don't have time to distinguish them. Can you spot them? Haruno Sakura immediately heard what Karen meant. The little girl's film is stinky, Of course, do you know Uzumaki Mito? This girl has the same ability as her. Who are you talking about? Uzumaki Mito, do you know him? Has the same surname as Naruto, is that his mother? Sakura blinked in confusion, she really didn't know who Naruto's mother was. Karen and Shizune's eyes twitched when they heard this. Sakura, are you really Konoha's ninja? It's not a fake, is it? Bastard, what are you talking about? Don't think you're the captain's junior sister and I'm afraid of you. You're not fake, don't you know who Uzumaki Mito is? Karen teased Kiba, revealing a small white fang. Haruno Sakura was annoyed by her. I don't care whether she is Mito or Tudo, can you spot this guy? Don't worry, leave it to me. Uzumaki Karen patted his chest vigorously, his bright Yuhi eyes full of lust. White Zetsu, who was trapped by the seal, asked in a low voice, are you a descendant of the Uzumaki clan, a ninja who inherited the perception of evil thoughts from the first Kyuubi, Nine-Tails Jinchuriki column? Yo, you ugly bastard has a lot of knowledge, Shizune-senpai, gather your people and gather everyone together. Wait a minute, Haruno Sakura glanced at White Zetsu for a moment, the matter here must be reported to the Allied Forces headquarters first. If you explain it earlier, the damage will be reduced. Hurry up, it will be our turn to patrol in a while. The ninja standing by the river sniffing and his companion not far from him yelled impatiently, don't rush, I'm faster than you. Are you faster than me? The ninja who was the first to pick up the bird was about to run a few words, when he suddenly found someone behind him. Atai, what are you doing? Stay away from me, I'm affected by your standing like this. Really? The ninja called Atai suppressed his voice, so it might be better to influence him a little more. Report. Someone was attacked again, by the river, 2 of them. Asshole. Nara Shikaku sat in the main seat with his head bowed, and there was absolutely no solution. Just when he was bored, another ninja shouted, good news, the medical team has found the real body of the enemy. They are all fakes after White Zetsu's transformation. These monsters seem to be able to simulate chakra. I see, so it can be explained clearly. Shikaku touched the scar on his face and asserted, judging from the current situation, the battles during the day are all to pave the way for the present, which is really a big hand. Lord Commander, Miss Uzumaki Karen can tell the difference between true and false enemies. What? Can anyone tell the difference? Shikaku was startled at first, then came to his senses. Uzumaki, isn't that the one? Among the ancient bloodlines of the country of Vortex, there is a very strange ability called perception of evil thoughts. This is the ability coveted by sentient ninjas, and anyone with just a hint of malice will be discovered by such ninjas. The representative person with this ability is Uzumaki Mito, the wife of the first-generation Hokage, and the first generation of Kyuubi, Nine-Tails Jinchuriki column force. Is that Uzumaki Karen? In that case, connect me to that bastard, and I will borrow his airship. In addition, all coalition forces are ordered to strengthen their defenses, and before the professionals arrive, it is necessary to minimize casualties as much as possible. Lord Commander, is it possible to hurry by just one person? If the enemy finds out in advance, our losses will be huge. It doesn't matter. If that girl really has that kind of ability, she alone is enough to stand up to thousands of troops. If we believe her, how can we guard against it? Look at it, so sleepy. Text Chapter 432 Don't fight, Mr. Guy. Everyone please don't make any noise. Please keep quiet, everyone is divided into teams and stand face to face with us. What's going on up there? Most of the night without a break, I came out and stood in line. Don't be rambling, just do whatever the above asks you to do. The complaining ninja looked sideways at the high platform, and Uzumaki Karen folded his bright Yuhi-colored embroidered hair in the night, as sweet as old wine. This, and this. A series of numbers were recorded in sorted order, and after a while, Shizune led the raid. Not good. Been discovered. White Zetsu, who was hiding in the crowd, shrunk his pupils. Just as he was about to sink into the ground to escape and create chaos, a giant barrier rose around him. It wasted half an hour, and Karen was inspected by the team to screen out the available manpower, and then set up such a trap to infiltrate the infiltrating enemy into a formidable and unskillful net. However, in the process of arrest, damage is inevitable. White Zetsu's death-defying counterattack caused a lot of damage to the coalition forces, and the people who were surrounded by the barrier lost a quarter of it. You are fake, you are fake, you are the enemy. Solve them both. Shizune raised his wrist and shot out dozens of poisonous copies in a row. After eliminating the last few infiltrators, he waved his hand and said, "Open the barrier and treat the wounded immediately." "Yes, Captain." "Why don't you tie them up first?" An Anbu with a cat face mask stood beside him. "If that's the case, the damage will certainly not be so great." "If it was you, would you be tied?" Shizune snorted coldly. It was impossible to tie people up in advance or to control them. The best way to reduce your losses is to conduct individual reviews of small teams. However, that takes time, and what the coalition lacks most right now is time. Karen, go immediately and find these monsters quickly. The rumbling airship fell from the sky, and Shizune pushed the reluctant girl up. Do it well, now is not the time to be childish. I know, it's so annoying. Baidu Interesting Academy is really asking me to do such a dangerous thing. What if I get killed? Report. The infiltrator of the medical unit has all been resolved, and Uzumaki Karen has now boarded the plane and rushed to the first and second units. Tell them to be more careful, I have a very bad premonition. Nara Shikaku looked at the piles of information in front of him, and for some reason, he felt uneasy again. The first time we met to say hello, did you stretch out your left hand or your right? A young man with a scar on his face looked at the opposite. The middle-aged uncle who was asked by him was stunned. Before he could understand, the young man shouted, "He is the enemy, kill him." Bastard, what are you doing? I have no impression of this guy at all. Pupaku 3 kunai stabbed into the vitals from front to back, kidney, vest, chest, and the middle-aged uncle before his death let out an unwilling roar. Finding that the three ninjas who stabbed the wrong person were stunned, the young man who had shouted before sent a butcher knife. Damn, this guy is fake. We were deceived. Chaos, boundless chaos. What's your wife's name? Who is your wife? He is the enemy. So is he. There is something wrong with his answer. Kill these creeping monsters. Kill them. Stop it, stop it. Tarui Lois shouted from a height, don't move, the headquarters will send professionals to distinguish between the enemy and the enemy. Don't move, now whoever moves is the enemy. Go to your code, who knows if you are fake. Fuck this guy, I already found out that something was wrong with him. This person always likes to look around during the day, so there must be something wrong. Hateful. It can't be stopped. Tarui and Lois exchanged glances, realizing that things were completely out of control. It's a big joke if you want to solve me by one person. After receiving the information, White Zetsu's clones attacked one by one. Report. The first and second units called for support. Report. The fifth unit called for support. Report. The third unit called for support. Did the news leak start early? Naishikaku frowned while dragging his chin with one hand, but that's fine. Although the loss was a little more serious, it was able to expose the enemy, and these sacrifices were worth it. Inform the forward troops, try to keep the personnel calm, and hold on until Uzumaki Karen arrives. Understood. Yes. Mr. Guy, there are too many of these guys. Lee, let's tackle them with our youth. Mr. Guy. Lee. Mr. Guy. Lee. Here we go. Konoha Cyclone. Repay me for the benefits of the blue beast of Konoha. I am the legendary might lover, mother's good son, girl's good partner, apprentice's good teacher, the sixth generation of Konoha Hokage is me, let our youth burn together. Where did this mental illness come from? So cold, He really the 6th generation Hokage. It feels so fake. Fake. Fuck him. Come on guys. Don't be fooled by the enemy. Dot 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 dot. Throw the detonator. Throw some away. Mr. Guy, what's going on? Lee Rock asked Guy nervously after rolling and crawling to avoid several bombardments. Lee, this is youth, fight with your youth, they are all enemies. Are these enemies? Lee Rock pointed his eyes at the opposite side. Are you mistaken? No, how could it be wrong to wear glasses for the teacher? Let's go together. Youthful men should have the courage to challenge. The 8 inner gates, the 3rd gate Shungman open. Ah beat. Mr. Guy, wait for me, I'm here too. The 8 inner gates, the 3rd gate Shungman open. Konoha, beautiful blue beast, here is Lee Rock. These 2 psychopaths. Don't get me wrong, Hokage-sama, we are our own people. The iconic forbidden technique appeared, and the ninjas who came around didn't know what was wrong. Don't fight, I'm really my own. Fuck your own people, you rest to deceive me. Konoha Cyclone. The 2 big feet smashed into the crowd into a windmill, and Might Guy blew across the battlefield like a gust of wind. Lee, who was a step behind, blinked his little round eyes, and suddenly realized that something was not right. Mr. Guy, don't hit Mr. Guy, they seem to be real. The new book on the cloud, The Second Element of Despairing Conscience, has been released. Brothers and sisters, please collect them when you have time. Please take a look. Text Chapter-433 It's a fucking life. Really? Might Guy looked at the ground in amazement. You said they were real. Lee Rock nodded with difficulty. It's true. It's the first launch of the interesting academy. Really? Might Guy confirmed again in disbelief. Well, come here, little Lee. Mr. Guy. Lee Rock walked towards Guy suspiciously. Might Guy wrapped his arms around his shoulders. It didn't happen, did it? Never happened. Lee, you have to remember, we were drinking beer in the kebab shop just now, and what's going on here has nothing to do with us. Mr. Guy, aren't you cheating? Youth does not allow cheating. You taught me this. I taught you. Lee Rock nodded affirmatively. Might Guy, 020, looked at him for a long time and said deeply, now, youth allows it. Lee Rock. The moon hanging high in the sky is full of large and small annular craters. The cold moonlight shone on the earth, and on the guardian beast in front of the dilapidated temple gate, 2 men sat side by side. One is sitting on the head, the other is sitting on the tail. The face of the head is awe-inspiring, and there is a kind of coldness that refuses to be thousands of miles away. Something's not right. The man sitting in the tail wondered. Why did the caster keep us from contacting the coalition forces, and he didn't seem to plan to use your demonic illusion. Sitting up, he looked up at the sky. The silent confrontation at night continues. It is more convenient to read on mobile phones. Hey 168. Madara didn't use us to break the silence. I'm afraid he thinks otherwise. Sitting in the tail raised his arms and looked at it. This move Impure World reincarnation is from Madara's new subordinates. It seems that he has already calculated it. Perhaps. Dada's footsteps approached the wine servant from far and near, and the 2 figures under the moonlight broke the calm. I didn't expect that one day we would also be taken advantage of. It feels like getting lost on the path of life. Kakashi, you're still so unmotivated when you're dead. Sir Jiraiya, don't keep talking about me, it seems that you have peeked at women along the way. Does this mean you have to love me even if you die? Kakashi, is this how you treat your master? Also, you seem to have watched it too, right? Is there? The owner of Hatake scratched his white hair, his one-eyed outside flashing in confusion. Jiraiya screamed twice, suddenly lost the motivation to continue arguing. Think about it, my life is really full of failures. I was constantly rejected by Tsunade, I didn't stop my friends from going astray, and I didn't protect my master and apprentice. Compared with the great achievements of Hokage in all dynasties, what I have done is so useless and boring. I originally wanted to die like Hokage of all dynasties and return to my hometown with glory. Unexpectedly, after death, I will be used by others. I'm afraid I won't be able to keep that last bit of fame. Lord Jiraiya, you don't need to be sad. Kakashi laughed at himself. If a hero like you doesn't admit to himself, then what is I like? My nephew is not well educated, and every apprentice is a problem child. The disciple who tried his best to teach has also become an avenger who betrayed the village, not to mention Naruto. As for Sakura, it seems that I, the teacher, have not helped her at all, and I feel sorry for that girl. Quote. Kakashi, we're actually very similar. Jiraiya took a deep breath of Yefeng, but you're better than me. Sasuke hasn't caused any big trouble to Konoha so far, but what I taught disciple Nagato destroyed the village with his own hands. Have you regretted it? I can't say whether I regret it or not, and I don't hate him for it. It's all the result of different positions. The fault is this world, not someone in this world. Nagato is just a corner of countless sorrows. After all, it was this world that ruined his life, ruined his fetters, and caused him to take such a wrong path. Quote. What about Sasuke? Lord Jiraiya, Sasuke and Nagato. They are completely different. Jiraiya glanced sideways at the lonely disciple. Nagato has a dream, and he wants to end the world's pain with pain. Although it is very inappropriate, he has a beautiful heart after all. Uchiha Sasuke, I've seen this kid. His heart is already filled with hatred. If he doesn't get it right, he will go astray and do something irreversible. In that case, I really failed as a master. Kakashi looked at the moonlight with a complicated expression. I just don't know who we are going to deal with this time. Should be almost there, hopefully not some familiar guy. He opened the door curtain that fluttered gently under the night wind and walked into the wine servant. The boss, who was dozing off, heard the wind chimes and opened his eyes in confusion. You too, are you? Don't be afraid, we won't hurt you for the time being, but you'd better get out of here quickly. Kakashi raised the corners of his mouth when he looked at the flustered boss. The boss didn't dare to stay, and he ran to the door. Who will our opponent be? After walking through the empty partitions and entering the rear luggage, Kakashi slammed open the sliding door. The two men and women who were doing good deeds turned their heads in amazement, and the man on the woman fell into a dead silence. Jiraiya was excited. This is good. This has to be written down. The dead version of Intimacy Paradise has come to an end. Hey, you two continue. We are just passing by. Bastard, do you two guys know who I am? How dare you? Puff. Kuwu, who wiped his neck, brought up the blood, and Kakashi shot it at the screaming woman. What a shame, you slackers, don't destroy this fairy's creation, okay? Do you know that once the inspiration is interrupted, it is difficult to find it again? State, do you understand? Writing needs state, but this state is not ruined by you. I'm so sorry, but my body is out of control. Lord Jiraiya, I think we've found who we're looking for. The sliding door of the bag was pushed open, one big and one small, and two figures, a man and a woman, came into view. Kakashi, Jiraiya were all silent. It's such a fucking can't be fucked up thing, why would it be them? I really want to teach this kid a good lesson, but I don't want to do it in this situation. Brothers and sisters are happy to watch, and Union will continue to work hard. Meow Meow's new book collection is not strong. Everyone, please support it, please. Thank you for The Second Element of Despairing Conscience. Text Chapter 434 specialized in the inheritance of the scourge of birth. Senju Tsunade. Dead wood. The drunken duo and the undead on the opposite side looked at each other through the open door, as if passing eternal at a glance. Mobile reading is more convenient. m.heihei168.com. You stinky toad, I didn't expect to meet again like this. Tsunade, I'm sorry. No need. Senju Tsunade swayed twice, her big tea-gold eyes filled with tears again. I saw it broken earlier. Is he okay? Jiraiya asked blankly. Senju Tsunade laughed, with an extremely bitter and bleak smile. What's wrong with him? He still wants to be Hokage. Be Hokage, do you understand, you fools? Tsunade. Stinky toad, don't look at this princess with that kind of eyes. I'm not as vulnerable as you think. The cold wind blew through the lonely night. Liamong looked at the white hair opposite and clicked his tongue twice. To be honest, this world is so big, I would like to see everyone, but I don't want to see you. Little nephew, am I really such a failure as a human being? Kakashi, you are not a failure, you are quite a failure. Lu Meng pouted in disgust, and the one who didn't want to answer was this idiot. As a son, you have no responsibility, even your own father dare not admit it. As the head of the family, you are not forced to protect your own people. As a teacher, you will not teach students, not only lazy to death, but also blind to death. Have I really failed like this? Kakashi listened to Liu Ming's scolding, and fetched water from 15 bamboo buckets in his heart. Mobile reading is more convenient. m.heihei168.com. Glancing at the idiot, Liamong gave him the final blow. You and the leader over there who still don't know Akatsuki. Speaking of which, this guy has a lot to do with you. You know. Of course I know, I don't know who knows. Liamong raised his hand and wiped his nose. Kakashi and Jiraiya both turned their attention to him, and even Yakushi Kabuto, who was hiding in the cave, pricked up his ears. Speaking of which, the Hokage series is really messy. The second generation chose Sarutobi Hiruzen to take over the role, and Shimura Danzo came out. As a result, the fourth generation Hokage did not work for a few days, and then rushed to the street with blood and luck. Even the wife and the children all got into it. The three generations of the old immortals had to re-enter the battle and continue to wear it. Unfortunately, the old ambitions were not enough, and the talents of the Konohas were withered. When the 5 generations took over, it had become a mess. Who is the leader of Akatsuki? Jiraiya, what are you worried about? Liamong poked out his ears. Sarutobi Hiruzen's teammates have Shimura Danzo, your teammates have Orochimaru, and your disciples' disciples have Uchiha Sasuke. Look, you guys, this large group of people, generation after generation, specializes in defeating the Scourge of Birth. Quote. Deadwood Liamong talks about Scourge. I'm afraid no one can compare to you, right? Yo, are you so embarrassed? Liamong raised his little finger and blew his ears. If you say I am a scourge, I am a scourge. However, the greatest scourge was born in the hands of your apprentice. Who are you talking about? Jiraiya's voice was extremely cold. 4th generation Hokage, Namikaze Minato. Liamong smiled, making no secret of his sarcasm. Minato, what happened to him? Remember your teammates, Master Hatake. Liamong ignored Jiraiya and turned to Kakashi. Obito, Rin. The leader of Akatsuki, is it the leader of Akatsuki? Kakashi looked at Liumen in shock and reached out to his Sharingan. It seems you guessed it. Jiraiya looked at his disciple and grandson suspiciously, and the shocked eyes of the head of Hatake turned into a deep sadness. It's actually him, it's actually Uchiha Obito, this is impossible. Nothing is impossible, as I said just now, your lineage is so calamity, Uchiha Madara, Shimura Danzo, Orochimaru, Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Sasuke, look at this, it's all connected, 5 generations of inheritance, 5 scourges. The Ten talk about the will of fire, what exactly are you raising with the so-called will of fire? Quote. Shut up. The lecherous immortal, why are you angry? Liamong grinned and rolled his eyes aside. Senjutsunade's sorrow was mixed with desolation. Don't say these useless things, solve them. Right foot cracking the ground, he launched a surprise attack. Senju Tsunade blasted Jiraiya into a cannonball with one punch, and the rumble shattered 5 or 6 houses before it stopped. All the residents in the town woke up in an instant, all dressed in horror, dazed and at a loss. At the same time Senju Tsunade made his move, Liumen also met Kakashi. Let's go outside the town. What monsters are these guys? A resident pulled a blanket and stared stupidly, staring at the house with a hole in it. The water-like moonlight shone toward the fast-running figure, and the flowing Tsunade rushed out of the town side by side and stopped at an unknown hill. The hill is not big, full of maple trees, and when the night wind blows, yuhi leaves fill the sky. Give this toad to me, and you can deal with that kid. My good sister, you really know how to choose. Liamong touched his nose speechlessly. Now Jiraiya is not in danger of an idiot like Kakashi. The power of the lecherous fairy is all in Sage mode. If you want to activate Sage mode, you must use Psychics, and you will know with your toes Hushima will help when you make it. Kakashi is different. This guy, who was originally dragged down by Sharingan, can only exert 80% of his combat power at most. After the impure world reincarnation, it can almost be said to be a bug. My good sister, be careful of this guy's pupil attack. Jiraiya is easy to deal with, but this idiot is a big trouble. I'll go first. Before Lu Meng's voice fell, he flew to attack, and swung his fist to Kakashi's head and went. Come on, have a good fight. When you were alive, if you wanted to be flattened, you didn't succeed. When you died, you just made up for it. Dance of lightning. The right foot kicked in the chest bang. He paused in midair, Liamong's body turned into a streamer, and he circled Kakashi at a speed far exceeding the speed of the teleportation technique. They made a move. Jiraiya and Senju Tsunade also fought in one place, and the rumbling mud and sand swept all the surrounding trees into the air. Uehua is like water, Kaide is like fire, and the enemies who have complicated relations and grievances are ruthless. Let's fight. Union continued to work hard, took a good night's sleep to replenish his energy, and looked at it. The brothers and sisters were happy. Text Chapter 435, Kakashi, your mother's surname. Liamong roared and waved his fists and feet in an almost venting manner. Heihei168.com. Since he came to this hellish world, he has come into contact with many different kinds of people, and he has also received all kinds of censure. There are 3 generations of Hokage, elders of the advisory group, and Shimura Danzo. However, these immortal guys are hateful, and Liamong is just thinking of sending them to death one day. Only this guy in front of him is different. Son of man, unfilial. To be a teacher, not to teach. As the owner of Hatake, Tenten is so proud of his broken eyes. Does anyone in the ninja world know Hatake's name? No more, no more. Since the death of Konoha White Fang, the Hatake family, which has been ostracized and persecuted by many outside the village, has come to the brink of extermination. With the death of this idiot in front of him, without the support of the ninjas, the family that once won for a while has become a thing of the past. Unless there is a miracle, it can only be destroyed and perished, becoming a few insignificant records in history. And it wasn't anyone else who caused all this, it was the one in front of him. If it wasn't for him, he wouldn't be where he is today. Kakashi, what did you think when you agreed with the 3 generations of immortality to force me to hand over my taijutsu? While punching and kicking, Liamong asked questions that had been hidden in his heart for a long time. The fist full of anger rushed towards Kakashi's chest. Patriarch Hatake slightly turned sideways to avoid the attack, and replied calmly, I did that for the sake of the village. Come on. Liamong sneered and gave him another kick. For the sake of the village, why didn't Hyuga contribute to Gentle Fist? For the sake of the village, why didn't the Uchiha family disclose their secrets? I am different from them. Heihei168.com. Yeah, you are different from them, you are so selfless. Liamong said with praise, and the power on his fist increased by 3 points. He really didn't know if the man in front of him was sick in his head, which hidden village had no family, and which family did not hide. Why don't others make it public? It's just you idiot who wants to come. Oh, the 3 generations old immortal say a few words to you, and you will turn around and persecute your nephew. He ain't. Do you know your identity? As the head of the Hatake family, instead of protecting his own clan, he instead united with outsiders to bully his juniors. If I were your mother, I would drown you directly in the urinal when she was born. The cold moonlight sheds the brilliance of the stars, reflecting the flying kaide flying in the sky. Every time Senju Tsunade landed, large swaths of sand would be splashed, and the flying trees, broken branches and leaves scattered all around. Jiraiya dodged, smiling dryly, the reincarnated dead face smothered Yuhi, the two-toed eyes sticking out of their sockets, and they kept swaying towards Tsunade's chest. Beautiful, so beautiful. Big, really big. You die for this princess. The rumbling sand and stones hit the whole body like raindrops. Jiraiya, who had withdrawn and retreated, laughed dryly, and then he fit in and threw himself up. Tsunade, I can't help it. You can't help yourself. Well, you can't help yourself. Senju Tsunade Silver Kiba bites hard. You can look around if you can't help it, and you can look around if you can't help it. Jiraiya, I tell you, this princess has to take care of it today. You. Chakra-enhanced strength. Heavenly foot of pain. Through precise control techniques, the chakra is gathered to any part of the body for an outbreak, and the strength of Senju Tsunade is beyond words. Look at those broken trees, look at those dilapidated rocks. If these still can't show her strength, then please look at the mountain that is about to be flattened by her. The clash of fists and fists, the clash of feet and feet. Tsunade and Jiraiya are destroying the earth above, and Ryuming and Kakashi are strangling below. Completely copy my movements and then counterattack. Do you still have something of your own? Lu Meng clenched his fists out of breath, and Kakashi was knocked out by his internal breath. However, this is completely useless, has no effect at all. The dark energy that is enough to destroy the internal organs and 6 abdomens has no effect on the undead from impure world reincarnation. This 3 rotten ninjutsu is so disgusting. Wait, what about people? A flower disappeared in front of him, and in the darkness, a sudden lightning stabbed behind him. Just in a moment of insanity, Kakashi launched a sneak attack. The thunder-type chakra, which was completely silent, wrapped his right hand like a water pattern, and the 3-tomo Sharingan head of the Hatake family stabbed his sword. Suddenly, Liamong moved, without turning around or looking up, standing on the spot let out a lion roar. A loud shout resounded throughout the world. After that, the sneak-attacked idiot froze in place. I haven't seen you for a long time. You seem to have forgotten something. The guy who can assassinate the young master hasn't been born yet. Why, you want to kill me here? The fire-breathing fist in Liamong's eyes smashed Kakashi's head into shreds. This bastard was definitely not at ease just now. He ain't. If you want to kill the young master will kill you first. Under the cold moonlight, the pieces of dirt regrouped, and Kakashi Santomo's Sharingan turned into a windmill. Looking at the sickle-shaped pattern, he changed 4 directions one after another, like a frightened swordfish, and retreated sharply in a twisted posture. Kakashi rushed forward, following him like a shadow, his right hand glowing with azure-blue brilliance, like a furious thunder dragon. Lu Meng, wow, screamed twice, sweating and doing random changes in direction. If you were stared at, you would be dead. Kakashi didn't expect Liamong to retreat so quickly. As soon as he showed Mangekyo, the bastard started running like a dog chasing a rabbit. For Kamui to hit the target, he has to stay on the sidelines for a certain amount of time, but now there is obviously no chance. Liamong, who was flying out of the sky, changed directions several times again, and suddenly wanted to understand something. If you can't run like this, you have to go back and fight with him. Kakashi, your mother's surname. The figure suddenly turned back, like a Z-shaped lightning bolt that pierced the sky. Hatake, who heard the question, was stunned. When I get this opportunity, Liamong picks up a brick and goes up. Your sister, brother, I have to maim you today. Brothers and sisters are happy to read. Union will continue to work hard, and support the new book in your spare time. The second element of the Lost Conscience does not ask for other clicks and collections, please. It's not easy to open a new book. The cloud is here to thank you. Take aim. Text Chapter 436_Helpless Battle. Tsunade, I like you. Boom. Tsunade, I love you. Boom. Tsunade, I love you to death. Boom, boom, boom. A series of heavy punches slammed into his chest like cannonballs, and Senjutsunade's face turned white with anger. Jiraiya, you idiot, you won't stop when you die. Because of my death, I have to say all the things I wanted to say that I didn't dare to say before, otherwise I would have no chance. The lecherous immortal grinned with a big mouth, and smirked. Senju Tsunade looked at this former teammate, his beautiful big eyes sparkling. Can you have a serious time? I'm serious right now, watch out for my Rasengan. The ultimate ninjutsu with fire attribute nature transformation, pushed from the palm of his right hand to his chest, and Senju Tsunade kicked his wrist. I knew that such an attack would be useless to you, but I was serious about what I said just now, and it came from the bottom of my heart. I like you. I love you. I can't live without you in my life. You Toad, kill this princess. The two eyes stared straight at Tsunade's chest, and Jiraiya continued to speak. Do you remember when we were young? When you were young, your breasts were not as big as they are now. Jiraiya. Tsunade, you are angry, right? The lecherous immortal pushed Rasengan with his right hand, opened the seal with his left, and the wind, fire, water, earth and thunder on the 5 fingers and fingers lit up one after another. Interesting academy. Senju Tsunade bit Kiba's teeth and dodged the attack, but for a while he really had nothing to do with Jiraiya. They are 3 brothers and sisters. Orochimaru is good at forbidden technique, Jiraiya is good at ninjutsu, she herself is good at medical skills, and they know each other well. Originally, if Jiraiya were alive, Tsunade wouldn't be like he is now. Chakra-enhanced strength and heavenly foot of pain are both winners and losers as long as they hit. But now, it's not cooked, chewed, and you can beat and kick. I'm just 2 words, I'm not afraid. Jiraiya opened her stinky mouth again, recalling the past and telling the present, recalling the past, and yearning for the future. With the courage of impure world reincarnation, she was extremely shameless and skinless. You know Tsunade, I fell in love with you from the first time I saw you. At that time I fantasized about marrying you back home to warm the bed. Jiraiya. It's useless. You have to think of a good way to seal me up. But you haven't prepared the materials right now. You always do this. It's up to you. Senju Tsunade raised his right leg in a fit of rage, his heart, liver, spleen and lungs all pumping together with hatred. Against impure world reincarnation, undead, taijutsu is almost useless. Her strength is equivalent to abolishing most of it, not to mention the remaining medical ninjutsu. Jiraiya, you forced me. Haishuyu Shenwei. Spiritualism tongue and music acid. Kill this toad for this princess. Yes, Lord Tsunade. The dark green licking liquid spitting out was like a torrential rain, and Kabuto's head fell, and the sand, trees, turf, and everything that was drenched in it were corroded. But this terrifying attack has no effect on Jiraiya. Enchantment. The barrier that I used to fight against the invasion of Pei to gain time for Sage Art to activate. It covered the surrounding like an upside-down sea bowl, and the viscous acid sprayed on it had no effect, just like hitting the rain on Yu. Sliding to the sides like drops of water. Tsunade, it can't go on like this, although I know you love me very much, but now is not the time to let it go. Bastard, when did this princess hold back? You feel good Toad. Is not good, medical ninjutsu is not good, and the summoned psychic beast is also not good. Senju Tsunade completely lost his mind. The 2 of them were at a stalemate on the mountain, and Liamong also fought Kakashi hot. With the threat of pupil technique, this kid didn't dare to come forward. In the practice of changing a place with one shot, he completely became a slippery loach. Hit a stick on the east side, hit a brick on the west side, and every now and then I'll get a cold shot. The current Liamong is not the one with few skills in his hand. Any expert can step on the airbag with both feet, and come up with endless means, smashing Kakashi's forehead on the spot. The art of kicking the gangster, the brothers flatten him. First, the Hualashi Daolei clone stretched out his arms and legs, and then the purple Kurigaker lost his figure. Catch, can't catch, Can't hit. He can't hit Liamong, and Liamong won't get used to him. With a slap on the left cheek and 2 palm prints on the right cheek, Kakashi, who couldn't handle it just by being beaten, was inexplicably sad and angry, and Yuhi's eyes turned to the extreme. All of a sudden, he made a bad move. Since he couldn't catch it, he simply didn't catch it. Relying on the convenience brought by Impure World Reincarnation, Copy Ninja played a ninjutsu game. What futon, wind style, Kaden, fire style, Sweeten, water style, Raiden, thunder style, seen and never seen before, they are scattered all over the place. Yuhi's eyeballs, broom head, and knife-cut head have white hair. Kakashi gave Liuman a vivid ninjutsu popularization class with practical actions, so that he understood what Copy Ninja is. With the hands of the fast hand seal, countless ninjutsu spewed out like spittle, Yuhi-colored fire, yellow soil, blue thunder, mixed and fused with each other. Not only did they not cancel each other out, instead, they reinforce each other. Kakashi played beautifully, and his flamboyance was not for nothing. You have ninja, I have skills. The mines spread all over the mountain, and the poisonous fog spread over the entire woodland. It's a pity that this is a deadly thing for ordinary people, but for Kakashi, it doesn't work at all. The helpless Liuman could only hide from afar, and secretly set off the cannon, which exploded endlessly. How about this? The animals in the woodland are considered bloody mildew, and the one who drags his family and his mouth to wipe his eyes and tears is a slap in the face. 2 not a thing, 2 not a person. These people are so immoral. We protest. We are seriously protesting. We are going to submit a protest to the World Animal Protection Organization. Brothers and sisters are happy to watch. Union continues to work hard, and strives to write 2 more chapters. If you have nothing to do, help the new book to collect it. There is a link outside, the second element of the lost conscience, please, you will not regret it. Text chapter 437_ to the following still be friends. The rushing waves lapped the beach all the time. Shikamaru sat next to his friend with a straw stick in his mouth. Choji, are you still going to sleep so late? I can't sleep. The first episode of the interesting academy. Akamichi Choji stared at the moonlight with an indescribably decadent expression. Shikamaru, I'm a little scared. I'm afraid too. Are you afraid too? Shikamaru graciously said, remember what the boss said, when I was young, I liked to do things with my head. He once told me that in the face of absolute power, any conspiracy and tricks are useless. In the past, I thought I understood. I only understand now how powerless it is when it comes to this kind of thing. Choji, not only you are afraid, but I am also afraid. Quote. What are we going to do, Shikamaru? Choji said, looking at the sea with unease. With just one blow from that monster during the day, my dad and I were blown away. That's 100 times the chakra, in that state. Next, I already have the power of Kage level, but... Choji sniffed as he spoke, looking extremely lonely. Shikamaru patted his shoulder heavily. Don't lose your fighting spirit. If we don't have confidence in ourselves, then everything will be over. I know, but I'm just scared. Choji trembled uncontrollably. I know we have to win this war and lose the world. But Shikamaru, I don't see hope. Really, I see no hope at all. Not. Quote. The fishy sea breeze blew across the light brown hedgehog's head, and big drops of tears fell to the ground. Shikamaru without hope. I am afraid that you will die before my eyes. I am afraid of losing relatives and friends. I can stand bravely in front of you, but I have no strength to protect everyone. As the more and more excited tears streamed down his cheeks, Nara Shikamaru fell silent. He thought that his friend was afraid of death because of the blow during the day, but he didn't expect it was for this. Choji, you are stupid. Shikamaru, I feel so useless. I have worked hard enough, but I still don't have the strength to protect you. I can't beat that guy, and I can't even call him a move. Don't give up too much, Choji. Shikamaru squatted in front of his friend and smiled. You can't do it, aren't there us? Ino Shikacho is never alone, and we can't let you go to hell on your own. No chance. Choji raised his eyes, crying, Yuhi, even if you are with Ino, it's useless, that kind of guy is not an opponent we can defeat at all. Choji, you have to have confidence in everyone. I can't do Shikamaru, I can't do it. Choji shook his head vigorously. You haven't felt the power of that guy yourself, we can't. Choji, why don't you just do it? There are some things in the world that we know we have to do. I know that our resistance is very weak and insignificant. But we must contribute our own strength. When countless small forces come together, we must beat that guy. Shikamaru. Believe in yourself, Choji, you have to believe in yourself, but also in us, but also in everyone. You are not fighting alone, we are all by your side. Shikamaru took a deep breath of Yefeng and sighed, if this time the world is really over, so let's go to the end together, so that we can still be friends when we get there. Going downstairs to be friends. Choji stared blankly at his friend for a long time, then suddenly smiled. You can't die earlier than me, I'm afraid I won't be able to find you then. I'm going to die first, so I'll wait below. You. Together. Together. Ino, who was eavesdropping behind the rock, quietly came over, add me. And me. Wong. Inazuka Kiba, this is an internal affair of our Ino Shikacho, what are you arguing with? Ino glared angrily at the uninvited guy, and snorted angrily. Che, Ino Shikacho, I'm still in the Konoha gang, Shikamaru, Choji are members of our gang. Kiba, you bastard. Excuse me, if you don't mind, can you add me? 10-10. Xiaoqiang, who came out one after another, put their hands together, the waves, the beach, and the moonlight became their witnesses. Tarui and Lois stood in the shadows, smiled and exchanged glances, and their heavy hearts were instantly relieved. With such young people, the war against Akatsuki will not fail, we will win. Naruto, hurry up. Uncle B. Bloody ball, idiot, I can feel the breath of eldest brother, idiot, hurry up, or it will be bad, he will catch up. No way. Of Raytheon guy, SA was burning like a shooting star and smashed forward, and Yuyai's appearance was as hot as his tall and rough appearance. Ellipsis. Uzumaki Naruto, who was almost smashed, stumbled 2 steps and pressed his chest. Uncle B, is this your eldest brother? Is your eldest brother the 4th Raikage? Idiot, a fool who many people know about this kind of thing. You two guys, hurry back to Lao Su. Yui roared furiously, her voice like a thunderbolt trying to pierce her eardrums. Uncle B, your elder brother is so fierce. Everything is on me, and there will be no problem. Big brother, do your best, and let Naruto out of the way. Shut up for me. The 4th generation Raikage glared at Killer B, this war is to protect the 2 of you. If the 2 of you are caught by the enemy and complete that lousy ninjutsu, the world will be destroyed. It's over. Big brother B's big brother, Uruka, sensei told me about this. Now that you know it, why are you running out? You 2 fools, hurry up and hide for Lao Su. This can't be done. Naruto looked at Raikage firmly, I can't just watch everyone fight for me. If the victory of the war is won by the sacrifice of my companions, what's the point of being the only one left alive in the end? I don't do that. Cloud finally knows what's going on with Fange, this shit is chasing the arrears, RMB. They didn't have money, so he asked Tenten to come over and play music, which was really bloody. Text chapter 438_persist and die here. Enough. You idiot, it's better than the end of the world, you impulsive dead boy. The 4th generation of Raikage was too angry, his hair and beard all puckered up, to protect the 2 of you, everyone we are fighting with the determination to die. Do you know how many people have died now? 40,000, which is half of the total number of coalition forces, not only ninjas, but also ordinary soldiers on the battlefield. That's why I don't want to come out. I'm Uzumaki Naruto, not a tortoise. I can't do what I can do to hide and let my companions sacrifice for me. Besides. Shut up, you only know how to use your anger, I won't let you go there anyway. You. Uzumaki Naruto looked at the fourth-generation Raikage who refused to give way, and suddenly launched a charge. Idiot, stupid, you bastard, big brother is not so easy to deal with. Go back to me. Raikage of the fourth generation dodged twice in a row, raised his fist and slammed into Naruto's face. The sharp fist wind brought a violent airflow, pressing the yellow hair on his head to the scalp, like a fallen wheatgrass. What a great speed! Naruto Uzumaki looked awe-inspiring and pulled away, never thinking that Raikage would be able to keep up with Kyuubi, Ninetales mode. Killer Bee reminded next to him, your father is dead, and the speed of the big brother is invincible. Uncle B, do you know my father? Dead boy, of course B knows, not only him, but also the old man. The fourth generation Raikage snorted heavily, we have fought several times, and even thought that they were invincible opponents. I heard that the fifth generation Hokage legend Sannin, Jiraiya it was once said that he was the son of prophecy, the so-called savior. Quote. Father, savior. The fourth Raikage looked at Naruto's shocked eyes and sneered, don't show that disgusting expression, if your father is really some kind of savior, why hasn't he appeared now? That's because he failed in the Kyuubi, Ninetales incident. Died in battle, have such an experience, don't you understand? As his son, you haven't learned any reason. Don't talk like you know my father very well, he didn't fail at all. Son, the future of the country of Vortex is entrusted to you. Mobile reading is more convenient m.heihei168.com. Don't let us down. Remember your name. Uzumaki Naruto glared at Raikage, the sun-like chakras rising and falling all over his body, gathering power to the soles of his feet. Killer Bee, who was standing next to him, flickered twice, and suddenly he tightened his mind. The murderous aura of the elder brother was gathering. Is he going to make up his mind? If you insist on going there, die here, Uzumaki Naruto. Big brother. You shut up and kill him is better than letting him die in vain. In this way, during the time of Kyuubi, Ninetales resurrection, we can still make adjustments and preparations. I will never allow you to destroy what we came from. Unexpected results. Naruto, rewind. Killer Bee was very eager. I don't want it, I have to go there. You are courting death. Shadow clone. Recurrent storm. Before the fingerprints he had just lifted were finished, the tip of his big elbow slammed into the front door. When did Naruto, who has always liked Kuno, ever see such a battle? No, I'm going to be hit now, maybe I'll die. Big brother. The figure suddenly inserted in the middle stopped Raikage's fist. Yayoi and Naruto were all shocked. B. Uncle B. If you want to kill Kyuubi, Ninetales, you can kill me too. Killer Bee clenched the fist of the fourth Raikage with a rare serious expression. You let Naruto leave, I'll go back with you. Bastard, let me go. Yayoi struggled twice. No, fool, stupid ball, I won't watch him die in your hands, he's the same as me. Killer Bee glanced at Naruto. Angry, you two idiots, do you know your identity? The life of the human Jinchuriki column force does not belong to you. It is a weapon that exists as a balance between countries. Know your position. Big brother, that's why we have to fight. Killer Bee retracted the eight-tailed fist face. Fist and fourth generation Raikage faced each other. Since you said that we are weapons, we have to come out and breathe, you can't just worry about fighting. B, please wake me up, don't look at him as an idiot. Uchiha Madara is not something you two Jinchuriki column forces can handle. Yayui's big kiba clenched her eyes and slammed into Naruto with unstoppable murderous intent. Killer Bee stopped in front of him and made a ha-ha, but Raikage of the fourth generation was unmoved at all. As a human Jinchuriki column force, you must have the awareness of human Jinchuriki column force, and you will only lead the war to a dead end. Do the two idiots understand? I can't just watch my companions die, I can't do something like Naruto Uzumaki. Shut up. Fourth Raikage was about to go crazy. A guy like you should be killed. Big brother. Get out of here. Thunder abuse level Chio dance. Kyuubi, Ninetales kid, leave your life here for Lao Su. Hurry up. With Lei Hua's right hand raised high above his head, he slashed down, and Naruto Uzumaki, who was reminded by Killer Bee, turned somersaults for 50 or 60 meters in a row. Looking up and watching, a bottomless crack extends deep into the woods. Dead boy, you can escape quickly, but unfortunately you are far worse than your father. Big brother. B, get out of the way, or I'll deal with you together. The fourth generation Hokage stared at Killer Bee, who was blocking the road again, in anger, and the eyes of the two brothers collided fiercely in the air. Why do you have to deal with Naruto? This is not like your usual you. Idiot, don't you understand at this time? What do you think war is? Hokage, the fourth generation Hokage, scolded, trembling with a mustache, war is not a child's play, let alone impulsive. Can you win? Lao Su tells you that if you do that, you will die. Not only will you kill yourself, but even the coalition forces will join in. Then you tell me and Uncle B to watch you go to death. Naruto's excited face was like Yuhi, I can't do such a thing, I want to fight. Then you will die here for Lao Su. The grief and joy have not stopped outside, and Union's heart wants to die. It's been a whole night, it's really bloody. Text chapter 439 _ what needs to be explained. The fist of the gravel, the fist of the fourth Hokage. Mobile reading is more convenient. m.heihei168.com. Kumogakure Village. Each generation is a master of taijutsu. They are good at combining Raiden, Thunder style, with taijutsu and named it ninjutsu. With the help of Thunder Chakra, they can run faster and jump higher, which is a real combination of speed and strength, and their own defense has also been greatly strengthened. Whether Kyuubi 9 tails can be beneficial, it also depends on who you compare it with. Kyuubi 9 tails kid, die for me. It's over, the big brother seems to have made up his mind, this kid will soon. Uncle Hokage, if you hit me again, you're going to fight back. Uzumaki Naruto dodged in a hurry, gradually getting angry. Yuyai didn't answer at all, and her speed suddenly increased by 3 points. Like the fist of a T-tank, like the feet of a Patriot missile, they alternately greeted Naruto. Fourth generation Hokage is very simple. It goes straight, and it opens and closes. There are no fancy movements or complicated changes. If you have to find an adjective, that is fast, extraordinary fast. This means that Naruto can enter Kyuubi 9 tails to get Sage Art Chakra, and it will be over for another person. Don't push me. Flashed Hokage's fist on his cheek again, and Naruto, whose half face was distorted by wind pressure, was also angry. Fourth Hokage sneered twice, and pointed straight at his right hand and stabbed suddenly with force, which meant that he would kill with one blow. You forced me to. After being attacked many times, who can not be angry in his heart? Uzumaki Naruto is very angry. On the flat ground of the forest space, the turf flew into the sky, the sand and stone turned into scorched earth, and the trees turned into dust and mud. Just as Naruto was hit by the fourth Hokage and was ready to fight back, Killer Bee rushed to the center with a big sword. Big brother, I'll block it. Naruto, you go first. It's more convenient to read on mobile phones. m.heihei168.com. B. It turned into a big sword like a hedgehog, trembling Gigi, biting Kyuubi 9 tails on the left, and thundering on the right, shaking and screaming in excitement. Big brother, this kid has big dreams and we can't stop him from growing up. You bastard, B, do you know what you're doing? Idiot, of course I know idiots. Killer B's eyes flashed firmly under his sunglasses. Maybe we are machines, but we also have ideas. Big brother, since we've hit the punches, you should understand me. Heart. Listen, this time is different, you all listen to me. A Hokage with white beard stood in the middle of the school playground. A ninja with a one-eyed official hat pointed at the still young eye and said, "This is Yuyai, the next heir of Hokage. You know, our Kumogakure village has a long tradition of picking sparring partners for Hokage. So, among you, there will be one of you who will get the title of B." Quote. So cool. This is definitely mine. While helping Rakage draw out his ultimate strength, he also acts as a guard to protect Rakage. This is the meaning of the title of B. The ninja introduced by the speaker raised his arms. Next, test your compatibility with I in turn, and I use the thunder plow hot knife to cut off the rubber man's head. Do you understand? If the strength of the two sides is uneven, it cannot be cut off, and if one side is too strong or too weak, it will only twist it. It sounds so difficult. A fat boy swallowed. Are you going to cut off your head with your arm? Now, you determine the strength with I Daikwan one by one, and then use the absolute bull thunder plow hot knife on the puppet, starting from the far left. Please take care. The fists, one big and one small, faced each other, and the ninja who struck down placed the doll in the middle. Ju Niu Lei plow hot knife. In the hidden test place, two figures stepped on the left and right, their arms bent like a gust of wind blowing through. Boom. No. Next. Boom. Next. Boom. It seems that there is no suitable candidate this time. 7 children in a row were eliminated, and the third generation Rakage shook his head and turned towards the secret door. If he could have a brother, it would not be so troublesome. Wait a minute, Lord Rakage. He brushed the arm that crossed his neck, and brought up the flying head. The third generation Rakage, who turned back when he heard the sound, was stunned for a moment, and then he smiled. I am I, and we are brothers from today on. Oh yeah, bro. My name is Killer B. Of course, I'd rather you call me B. Start today and put them on a mission together. Yes, Lord Rakage. Going, B. Fist pair, tactical understanding. Oh yeah. Come on, eat more. After the mission, Yayui Asai crossed a fragrant pork leg. If you don't grow up quickly, it will be difficult for your body and strength to balance with mine. Okay, big brother, I can kill that too. Are you sure? Yayui's eyes twitched, and she swept the roast pig that Killer B pointed at. Sure, okay, no problem. Yayui watched the guy with the least kilogram shed a waterfall of sweat on his face. Okay, yes, this time the task is to regain the scroll. We will tomorrow. No tomorrow, the scroll is with me. You got it. Oh yeah. You stinky boy. The kilogram of wild boar devoured most of it and overturned on his back. Killer B, who had eaten the weight, fell asleep. Listening to his slowing breathing, the ninja, whose hair was half black and half white, kept silent and called I to the lake. That kid is very good and talented as a ninja. Ha, I feel the same way. Of course, that doesn't include the rap aspect. Are you trying to say that someone needs money to sing, and he sings to death? The ninja with half black and half white hair glanced at Killer B next to the fire. I was stunned. Cousin, you haven't joked for a long time. Really, maybe this is the last time. Quote. You should have heard from the higher up, This. There's no need to hide it, it's not a great thing, and it's a relief for me. It's a pity that kid is going to follow in my footsteps. The ninja with half black and white hair sighed and paused for a moment to look towards Yi said, You are a candidate for Rakage. In order to end this tragedy, there are some things I must make clear to you. About Yao. In order to collect arrears, he ran downstairs and played music for 4 consecutive days. What was he aiming at? Cloud is very helpless, think about the sadness. Text chapter 440 The sadness of the person Jinchuiki, column power. My father and uncle both failed, and maybe I'm not suitable either. Interesting academy. Cousin. Listen to me. The ninja with half black and half white hair interrupted I's comfort. This kind of feeling can only be understood by becoming a human Jinchuriki, column force. The eyes of those who have intersected with me have changed when they look at me. Although they also wanted to treat me like they did before, but because of the power of the people, they couldn't do it at all. From dodging, to escaping, and finally to resentment. This is the power of human Jinchuriki, column. You can't look back, you can only look straight ahead, and then step by step toward loneliness and darkness. Whether it's suitable or not, it's like walking with death. The ninja sighed faintly. No friends, and even family members have to stay away. I am immersed in it day after day, and gradually lose myself, and the tailed beast also runs wild. Ninja suddenly raised his head. From the first time he hurts others, his power will gradually be hated by others. The more times he goes berserk, the deeper the resentment will be. So much so that he is immersed in despair and anxiety all day long. In remorse, over time, you will want to die. Quote. But cousin, ninja's comprehension, ability, bloodline, virtue, you all have it, how can it be? Because of this, I was chosen to be the Killer Bee Jinchuriki column force. But, the ninja's voice paused slightly, but these things don't really mean much to the human Jinchuriki column force. What really matters? What is it? Heart. The ninja pointed to his chest. His eyes under half black and half white hair contained endless loneliness. Jinchuriki column power is also a human being, and also longs for friends and relatives. To be human, you need to exist. Otherwise, you will gradually get lost, and when you die, the tailed beast will start to run wild. So, you must hold his hand firmly, and you must not let go of this fetter, even if it is not even a trace. You understand what I'm talking about? Flowers, mourning halls, burning incense, and half-black and half-white ninjas became portraits. The colleagues who came to the mourning talked in a low voice, not a trace of sadness, but a kind of excited relief. Failed again. A total of 8 people were killed before and after this rampage. Heihei168.com. In terms of the number of tails alone, 8 tails are more difficult to control than 1 tail. Hey, when will this be ahead? The next person, Jinchuiki column force, shouldn't it be that kid? The title of 8 tails is amazing. I came to burn incense to worship you, Matsuri. Oh yeah. This guy is the successor, and it looks like there is no drama. Is it really possible to choose such a person? The withered leaves rose and fell with the gust of wind, and Matsuri came out to perform the mission after paying tribute to his predecessor, Killer Bee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a total of 5 corpses, lying around in a mess. The surviving Iwagakure bit Kiba clenched his teeth and clenched his knives. You kid. B, it's time to go. What? Yayui Aiku, who appeared suddenly, raised her arms and saw her big brother coming. Killer Bee also put away her sharp blade. Suddenly thinking of something, Iwagakure trembled and looked around. B. You are Kumogakure, SB and I. Yo, so you know our trick. The figures, one big and one small, looked at each other and folded their arms, and the Iwagakure in the gale was messed up. Ju Niu lay plow hot knife. No. B. This is too far from the thunder plow hot knife I imagined. I glanced at the fallen headless corpse. I'm all here to cooperate with you, so you have to do more. Got it, idiot, you're so long-winded, asshole. Killer Bee finished a sentence. Bang. Got a fist. How dare you tell me that you are stupid? What do you want to do? Big brother is not cute at all. Be careful that no one will love you in the future. Killer Bee covered his bag's head and raised his small neck. I will surpass you one day, and then you will say I adore you. Don't bullshit, this trick is about balance. You just need to cooperate with me. No, it's an ideal for me, and preaching to my eldest brother is a dream. Little devil, you're such a stinky fart. Just tonight. After returning and handing in the task, her body trembled slightly. Yi looked up at his father. Tonight, the 8 tails will be sealed in the bee's body. I want to go see him. All right. The rumbling waterfall kept crashing into the deep pool. Yayui called Killer Bee to the place where she usually practiced. What's the matter, bro? B, from now on, you're going to be a Killer Bee Jinchuriki column force. Ah, don't care about those things later. Nickname the octopus and sing to make him obedient. Killer Bee shook his butt heartlessly. Yi saw sadness in his eyes. B, listen to Lao Su. Don't hide anything from me in the future. You are a very special existence to me. Big brother. Remember, we are brothers. Be brave, it's not easy to be a Jinchuriki column. The fists that collided again were intertwined under the moonlight on the lake, and Killer Bee showed a knowing smile. Years passed by, and the Kumogakure, who was in charge of the Jinchuriki column force of the caretaker, changed several times before he knew it. Ellipsis. From defense at the beginning, to admiration later, to worship. I really didn't expect that the Killer Bee-sama would be so beneficial. Yes, he is the only one who can control the tailed beast. Heard that Kurigakure's 4th generation Mizukage is also good, but I think it is more beneficial for our Bee-sama. After all, the 4 tails are not as good as the 8 tails. Equal to 8, are you trying to say that our Lord Bee has 2 Mizukage interests? Who knows? Breeze, setting sun, golden glitter. That kind of speed, that kind of look, Captain, shouldn't that guy be? That's right, I didn't think we'd run into him here. Let's hurry up and run. The ninja who followed Yi on the mission swallowed 2 saliva. Killer Bee couldn't tell the contempt next to him. I don't have the courage to retreat before the battle, I want to end this legend. Minato, be careful, they are Kumogakure's ID brothers. It's okay, you guys step back, I'll do it myself. Ninja Bag with his backhand and shot dozens of special kunai, and Naruto's father, who holds the title of Yellow Flash, launched a charge. Opposite him, Mirai Rakage raised his fist, his eyes glowing with excitement. The duel begins in an instant. Cloud is working hard today, and strives for another 6 chapters. The police came last night, but they didn't take it lightly. Hey, rich people can't be hurt, and debt collectors can't be hurt even more.